What is up, Lions fans, man? Let me make sure we're good. Let me make sure we sound good. We should be good to go, man. We should be live here. A lot to discuss today. If you're watching this back on the replay, shout out to you for that, man. Today we're going to break down this Lions-Packers game. We got some time. We're going to do it. Man, you know, the lips are chapping this time, you know? The hard lips. Well, okay, that sounds crazy. Hold up. I don't know. Let me not. Okay. Anyways, man, this is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a good live stream, similar to what we did last. I think we did this last week. Broke it down. We did it now last week with the just a replay version. Today we're going to look at some of the all 22, so we'll get to see everything. This was, as I said on Bleacher Report earlier today, this was the most frustrating rewatch I've had so far this season. Got to be honest. That's why I titled this what I did. I might change the title a little later, but it really was. It was a frustrating rewatch because so many things we did, we were just like, oh, my goodness, what are we doing? What are we doing? And look, this is the reality. This team is a good football team, right? This is a good football team. They should be competitive with good teams. Most of the time, they are going to be competitive with good teams. If they're not, it's a very real disappointment. I would say going back to the Kansas City game was probably the most disappointing outside of this. Maybe, I don't know, maybe week one, but week one was kind of weird. So this was it. This took the cake for me because it was such a big game. It was so important. We needed to find a way to get this one, and we didn't get this game. And just the way that we did it was frustrating because it felt like we overcame a lot. You know, we didn't come in with the perfect, the perfect situation, the perfect storm. We didn't have all the kind of bounces go our way. We had the fumble that didn't go our way. We had some flags that felt like they didn't go our way. And yet here we are, right, sitting there in a game that we were absolutely capable of winning, and we didn't. And I'm going to show you a lot of reasons why I feel like the Lions didn't win this football game. I might show some good, too. You know, we got a lot of plays to look through. But for the reasons why I didn't think we get it done. But it all does kind of come together, right? Like we always say, you rewatch a game, it's not as good as you thought it was, or it's never as bad as you thought it was, never really as good as you thought it was either. And I think that does sum up this game pretty darn well for me. So optimistic, and I'll tell you why I'm optimistic. And there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic, but also frustrated. Frustrated because this was a game that watching back was, man, they could have got this one. They could have got this one, a few different things. And it feels like, you know, if we got to see this team again, I think there's a lot that we could learn from this. If we got to see somehow it played out, we got to see Green Bay again, which there's a possibility you end up maybe as a wild card, Green Bay wins the division. If that happened, you would love to see it because I think there's things that we could take away from this game. We were obviously better than the first time we played this team. Part of that's being at home, so that wouldn't be the case again. But anyways, let's get right into this. Let's jump right into it. We got a lot to get through. The quality's not fantastic, but man, I'll tell you what, last time we did the Frank Ragnow stream, YouTube immediately hit me with that copyright, and that's frustrating. So the only way that I can avoid this is making the quality kind of whack, but it still does work. We still get to get what we need out of it. All right, so just bear with me as we go through this. This live stream is also being brought to you by my bookie. I took advantage of their offer that they had this Friday for the Black Friday game, so hopefully you did. If you didn't, you missed out. You shouldn't miss out like that, man. Make sure you sign up with my bookie. You had a free 25 sitting there for you. I jumped on it. I got the deal. Hopefully you did too. Chat, how we doing? Let me see what the chat's talking about before we get too far into this. Like I said, we got a lot to look at. It's going to be a lot of fun. Imagine if golf did that. Experts would be all over it. JJ. Okay, I didn't see what JJ McCarthy did. I didn't see it. But I will say, we'll get to the golf stuff. We'll get to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Daniel's in the building. Pinky, your bobber. I don't know what. Pink, your bob. Pink, your. How you doing? Optimistic is a little off. I fixed it. I don't even know if I spelled it right, to be honest. I fixed it. I still don't know if I spelled it right. But I did fix it. I'm looking at, it spelled correctly too, that I promise you. It came up with a little like wiggly thing and I clicked on it. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't really read what it clicked. It gave me whatever that was. So technology's fault, not my fault. Technology's fault. All right. I did the best that I could with that. Okay. I tried, man. I tried. We on the third and fourth tight end. We are on the third and fourth tight end. Yep. Quarterback misses throws. He did early, and then he was fantastic. Really, after the first three misses, he was outstanding after that, which is great. Defensive back can't get off the field. Defensive backs did a lot of good in this game, and we're going to talk about why I wish they were more aggressive. And then they just did a few bad, and man, it cost us. They did so much good. They did a few bad that cost us. Oh, good. And it is frustrating we lost to the Vikings. Now, maybe the Vikings can help us out today. Maybe they can. Maybe the Vikings can help us out down the road. Hopefully they can. The reality is, the playoff talk is what it is, right? When you look at, oh, man, what do you need to do to get there? We've been in this situation before. I'll still tell you what. We're alive and well. We're not well, but we're alive. We are absolutely alive in this playoff race. But they have to play better. Like, you have to play better. And we're going to show why and where the Lions need to play better. And really what I would say my biggest concern is walking away from this game is offensive line, not just execution. It's not just winning, right? There's a reality of like, you're going to lose some. You're playing a good front too, but also, we're not full health in this game. We're not going to get Frank Ragnow. That is what it is. I still want to see Miles Frazier play because I didn't think Caleb played that well. He didn't have Graham in this game. And I know everybody hates on Graham Glasgow, but he does give you a solid baseline. And with all that being said, the execution is just not there, right? It's one thing to lose matchups. It's another thing to be in a spot where you're not giving yourself a chance. And there was like so many occasions where the Lions just didn't give themselves a chance because they just weren't assignment sound. They were not assignment sound left and right. Optimistic, no O after the T. Look, man, did I put an O after? Is it still messed up? Optomistic. Hold up. Let me fix it. Y'all need Okay, let me fix it in the background. All right, hopefully YouTube updates it because there's two different ways you got to do this. Let me see if it'll fix it. All right, bear with me here. Let's see if StreamYard will fix it for me. Oh no, now it's not capital. Okay, wait, hold up. Let me get that right. I don't know if that messes with stuff. Yeah. Hold up. That should fix. I don't think it's going to fix it on X, but it should. All right. Anyways, it should fix it. Here we go. Chicago Bears on top of the NFC best record. They're top, but and things are going to change fast. I mean, they could stay up there. Shout out to the Bears if they do, but it could change fast as well. Things could change very quickly. Green Bay could very quickly take this division over, right? There's a lot of movement that's going to happen. This is not going to stay where it is. Okay, so let's get right into it. Good and bad. Let's jump right into it. Waste no time. Here we go. Let's start defensively here. This was something that we had talked about coming into the game that I would have done coming into this game. And I'll say, I don't think it worked that well, right? So maybe watching this back, I was like, I was off on that one. Honestly, we probably should have scrapped it a lot sooner. And that was what we did with this quarters defense. And right here, this is a good ball. Give credit to the offense. Look, Green Bay made some plays in this game. Give credit when they make plays. They made plays. Lions in cover 4 here, matching up on that single side at the bottom. That's how Reed's carrying. And you get a one-on-one with DJ Reed. I'm very excited to have DJ Reed back. I think Reed played pretty darn good. We need to get sacked. Okay, we'll get to that because this is something that Green Bay has addressed ever since things went horribly wrong. And really, this is a couple of year thing that they've done against us. They don't give us a lot of chances to get sacks. You're going to see a lot of heavy pass protection from them, a lot of max protect. You're going to see a lot of first read the ball is out, which is why, for me, if there's one thing schematically you'd have liked to see change, is that the Lions would have been challenged them more. Because when they challenged this team, they did a lot of good in coverage. They did a lot of good from a rush perspective, but it didn't feel like they challenged them consistently enough. And I thought this would challenge them. I think these quarters looks would. And I would say you could argue that it did, but it gave them some free access. And we're going to see that here with the speed out route at the bottom of the screen. It does give free access when you do challenge in this way. And look, it's a good ball. It takes a good ball to make this happen. You could see a stunt got there with pressure. But again, these are the things that we always point out because you will not get sacks most likely if the first read is the ball is out. Now, the flip side of that is you're limiting the progressions that a team is getting to, and you should hopefully help out your coverage in that side of things, right? If you're getting there that fast. And here we do. We have a stun at the top of the screen. It gets there pretty quick. You have a guy in his face, but the first read is out for Jordan Love. And you have an opportunity to make a play here with DJ Reed. You're contesting it. It just doesn't happen on that first play. That just kind of gets the ball rolling here. We'll take a look at some good. This is where were we at here? Yeah, we're going to cover 3 sky look here from the Lions defensively. This was covered up really well. It's actually pretty positive walk away from how well that coverage actually was in this game. I still think at times we could be a touch predictable with some of our drops, and you can kind of see a pre-snap, but we did mix it up at times, and it did help us here. Cover 3 sky. We play it pretty well on the outside. We bracketed it all in. Forced Love to hold on the football. They almost had a broken play here. Davenport got us a little bit of pressure. Honestly, Davenport did a pretty nice job, in my opinion, at getting after the quarterback. He got after the quarterback pretty well here on Zach Tom, who's the best player the best offensive lineman for the Packers. He's a problem. Yet the flip side had a couple issues against the run. And that was the biggest problem. Just had a couple issues against the run in this game. But for the most part, he did get some pressure for us. I mean, I walked away and I thought, man, these people are crazy thinking that we didn't have wins up front. We got wins in this game up front. And Davenport was actually a pretty big part of that. We got plenty of wins up front. We win all the time. No. And one of the statements that I gave Bleacher Report after this game was, we have our best players playing good football, but not playing elite, not lights out. They're good. They're just not lights out. And when you tie that with the fact that you're not assignment sound consistently and you're making mistakes in terms of mental errors, 12 on the field, defensive flag, illegal formation, you tie those two things together, it's hard to beat a good team. It's hard to beat a good team. And then you could also say you technically have turnovers because you're not converting on 4th down, which is why I made such a big deal about a deal of that post game, because it's hard to beat good teams when you lose that battle. But let's flip it here. This is the things that we did do well. And we got off the field on this first drive, cover one blitz. This was the most consistent coverage that we played against the Packers. Cover one blitz. We brought an extra body. We manned up in the back end, and the coverage unit was pretty darn good. For a lot of the game, the coverage was in a pretty good spot. This got us off the field the first time. You see Aleem, immediate blown block. Is that a sack? No, but he immediately gets back there. Coverage holds up in the back end really well. Terrion's on it against the tight end. We're getting ourselves off the field. Now let's go to the offensive side. These are the things that I thought were getting better the last few weeks. And obviously you lose Graham Glasgow, and some of that shows up, and I think it shows up in an example like this. Now, it didn't show up a ton in this game, but it showed up examples like this, and you're just going to see a straight pass protection breakdown. And obviously, we're giving a free rusher off the edge, and that's something that's going to happen regardless here. You know, when they show 7 on the line, we're outnumbered. We only got a back in there, so your tight end releases. But that being said, and I hear the Laporta stuff. It would be great to have him. There are times when maybe we would take some shots that we don't. That wasn't the difference in this game for me. You know, I mean, it shows up maybe a little bit against the run, and we'll see why, because instead of Laporta, you have Isaac Tesla on there blocking. So maybe it shows up on some things and you'll see it. But I don't think that was the difference in this game, right? You also didn't have St. Brown. That was bigger. I thought our pass rush, it wasn't, though. And then that's the thing. Was it great? No. I think Hutchinson, you know, had some loss to Zach Tom, but that wasn't the issue. That wasn't the issue. The issue to me was the two things didn't marry well. The issue with pass rush and coverage is always the thing that they have to connect together. You have to have those things work together, right? Think about the last play of the game. We got pass rush, yes, but did our coverage get us off the field? It didn't. Those two things didn't marry together. Those things have to marry together defensively, pass rush and coverage. They always have to do. You have to have the right call and coverage to marry what you're doing in terms of pass rush, and if they don't against a good team, it doesn't really matter. But look at this play right here. So Tristan Cologne's going to step left on the play. You have a 3-rush side on that side. And you can see as they ID here, Jahmyr Gibbs, it looks like he's going to pick up Isaiah McDuffie. He's going to step in, pick up McDuffie. We're going to be fine. We're going to have a free rusher off the edge here, which isn't great. But based on how the O-line's playing this, that's what you're going to allow on this play. Okay, that's fine. That's not what happens. Gibbs is going to step in. I believe that's take Edgerrin Cooper, who's on the outside shoulder of Tate Ratledge. That's what's going to happen here. Now, you could see pre-snap, even though it did cut off, that Tristan Cologne had noted that 58 was going to be the guy that was going to be the mic here, and that's where the offensive line would typically set. He doesn't, right? He doesn't set that way. So you're thinking, okay, Gibbs is going to step in, take that Isaiah McDuffie on this play. He doesn't take Isaiah McDuffie on this play. He steps in and takes the Edgerrin Cooper, I believe that it is, just like Tate Ratledge does as well, and that leads to a free rusher right up the middle. This is part of the issue of losing a guy like Graham Glasgow, is things like this can become a bit messy. This also could be directly, giving what is Jahmyr Gibbs doing on this play. But that being said, let's continue on. We're going to flip back here to the deep, and that didn't happen a ton in this game, but that being said, it did happen on that play. That was a 3rd down and 8, and that was the biggest thing that stuck out about that. Let's go back to the defense here. This is the thing that they did well. Again, they started off the game pretty hot defensively. Here the Lions go into, and they disguise. They're showing man coverage pre-snap. You got Branch rolled up on the safety. You're thinking, okay, this is cover 1, though the safety is incredibly deep here. You're thinking, all right, it's cover 1 on the 3rd down and long. Lions are going to go into a Tampa 2 inverted look here. And it works out really well, right? They're running deep curls across the field here. Lions get that disguised coverage to work out really well for them, so nothing's really open. You force them into a check down. And again, notice here, there's a little bit of heat from the interior, right? Derek Barnes gets a little bit of pressure here on Jordan Love, and he forces him to go nowhere with the football. Those two things marry well. A 4-man rush gets there, and also on top of that, the Lions really, the disguise gets them off the field at that point. But here is the biggest issue with the Lions offensive line. Yes, we had some wins, we had some losses, and that's going to be something the Lions are going to continue to try to work through, and obviously you don't have Frank helping you there. But I do still think that after seeing this, Miles Frazier needs to get a look for KO'd. Unless Frazier just doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, you have to give a look for him for a KO'd. And also, eventually, when we do get Graham Glasgow back, it will help. Because you're going to maybe allow Tristan Cologne to battle at left guard. Because Tristan Cologne did a really nice job in pass protection, I would say. I mean, was it perfect? No, definitely not. But it was fine. It was serviceable. And the offensive line came through when we needed it to in a lot of big spots in terms of pass protection. Run blocking was a little bit shaky, though, for Tristan Cologne. And we'll get that started right here on the first example. Trust me, there's a lot to see here. But this is the first example. Lions going with a straight downhill run here, a little duo block here, a little double team. And Tristan Cologne falls down. That loses the block, and Dave Montgomery ends up only getting a few yards off of that. Every other block is pretty sound here, right? Dan Skipper's in there doing his thing, but that blown block leads to a poor play. That said, we're going to see it as we go through here. Guys took turns on the offensive line making mistakes. Including Penei Sewell. Dose, what do you think about Dan still going for it on 4th down, considering we don't have the same players on the field last season? I think that's the fairest point of all. It's not you'll see it, right? We're going to show the fourth downs in here, and we're going to show what went wrong on those fourth down plays. But the weird thing is the fourth down run we got stopped on, I'd blame it on Penei Sewell. I'd blame the fourth down run stop is we have the numbers, Penei Sewell. I don't know who you're blocking on the play. You down block when you don't need to. Instead of stepping up and climbing to the linebacker, run goes nowhere. If he climbs to the backer, that run probably goes for a first down. He doesn't do that, run gets shut down. And some of this is too, and my biggest issue for the run offense was, a lot of these outside toss plays, these pitch plays, like Edgerrin Cooper blowing them up. And he's doing it off the backside. And some of that is, hey, man, just give them credit. They're making plays one-on-one. The Lions, though, because of that is the case, needed to scrap that. They did it like 3 times. None of them were successful in this game. But I think that's the biggest question you could have about the fourth down. But you think about it. The first time it's Penei Sewell, we'll see it. Doesn't block the right player. The second time it's a drop by Jameson Williams, a touch behind by Jared Goff. So both those times, you're talking about guys that you've heavily invested in not making the play on fourth down. So while partially I can say that's the biggest question I would have as well when you look at it from a wide view, wide lens. But at the same time, in those 2 instances, those are guys that you've invested in that aren't coming through. So I don't have an issue directly from these specific examples, and you'll see why. We're running too much at the middle. It's ego, not smart. I don't know about that. I would say our worst run, now it depends what you're saying when you talk about middle, and I'll show you why I say this. The worst runs in this game were all of our pin, pull, toss plays. Those were the worst runs in this game. Sometimes there was instances where I didn't think Jahmyr Gibbs ran the ball well. I'm like, dude, can we make a cut? And you'll see it, and he's not. Jahmyr Gibbs also turned some of our inside runs into bouncing runs, which led to the best success. So you're going to get some of that. I think we definitely should have leaned a little bit more on Dave Montgomery than we did in this game. And that's not to discredit what Jahmyr Gibbs was capable of doing, what he did do in some big spots for us. It's more so just that I think that Dave Montgomery had a good feel for this game. And his immediate ability to stick his foot and get upfield could have allowed us more 4-yard runs instead of 0-yard runs when we got some of our 0-yard runs. Not every time. Monty had a 0-yard run too, but it could have. And you'll see it. I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. And you'll see the examples and where I'm at. As we go through some of the rough stretches, and that's what I really wanted to focus on here. The pass game really picked up after this play, but this is kind of the last of the rough stretch here. Now, what happened on this play? Okay, so let's take a look. This was, and I saw this all over social media, so I'm like, all right, I got to throw it in here, give my 2 cents on what I saw on this play. Why did it not work out for the Lions? First off, it's third down and 15, which is not great. He should have made that catch, no doubt. He should have made the catch. I like that Goff took responsibility. He should have put it in a better spot. He should have. Watching it back, he was even, I thought, more catchable when seeing it back the second time, so he definitely should have made the grab, and he was frustrated. I do appreciate what Jamo did. Jamo showed up in this game. That said, you're going to see an example where I still don't understand why we're running deep curls for Jameson Williams, but the Lions did slow it in, and I'll give them that kind of ability to breathe from a play calling perspective, because after the first time they tried to run him on a deep curl route, right, to get him open one-on-one, and he did not get open at all. The same thing he did the week before where he did not get open at all when he's one-on-one. When the team goes cover 3, you're isolated one-on-one on the outside, right? Unless the team's getting really fast underneath one at a high school level, you're isolated one-on-one on the outside. In the NFL, look where the hashes are. You're one-on-one on the outside. This is the second straight week the Lions in a cover 3 try to go deep curl to Jameson Williams, and he didn't get open at all. Not open at all. So we made something of it. We still found Tom Kennedy. But what I do like is at least after seeing that, the next time we didn't get that again from the Lions. The Lions didn't try to do that again. So I do like that. And then when they got away from that, which I'm not really blaming Jameson Williams, I'm more so blaming the fact that they asked him to do that again, because that's not Jameson Williams' game. It's never been his game. And I think when you signed him, you knew that's not what he's great at. So at very least, the Lions were able to adjust off it. And Jameson Williams, in a lot of ways, became our Amon-Ra St. Brown. If anything, you would have just liked to see Isaac Tesla become our Jameson Williams in some ways in this game. But this is the last real what the heck are we doing in the passing attack. There's some more, but this is the last real one. But this is one that was going all over social media. Shout out to Facebook for showing us this clip where everyone's like, man, Goff just got to throw it up. Fair enough. I kind of wish you would on this play. That said, though, here's why this went wrong. All right, defensively, they're going to go cover 3. If you're looking at the top of the screen here, what they're going to do is they're going to buzz that safety. That's Xavier McKinney that's stepping up on the line of scrimmage. You got Evan Williams as your free safety dropping back here. McKinney looks like, okay, he's going to get under 1 here. He's probably going to take away Jameson Williams, right? Typically here, and this is how cover. Let me see if I can draw this. I can't really draw it out on the screen, and y'all can't see my mouse either. But the point is, if you're seeing that safety, his job in the cover 3, if he was the sky defender, would be getting out to the flat. So he's going to run underneath Jameson Williams, and you got a guy over top of Jamo. That's not the place to look if you're Jared Goff here. So he doesn't. Difference is, though, the defense kind of has a wrinkle to this. Instead of having McKinney drop to the flat, who's on the ball, he instead is going to roll to the middle of the field and be your hook curl defender, and that linebacker is going to run underneath JMO. So he doesn't actually double and kind of take that away. Instead, they kind of invert how they're doing it underneath. So immediately Goff's eyes are set to the right side of the field. That's fine. It's a balanced coverage. It's cover 3. You got a shot with a 4 verse look to make this happen. So let's look at what happens here. All right. Slow it down a little bit. Here we go. 4-man rush. And let's take a look. Goff's first read is going to be to the seam. Why? Again, he's not looking directly to JMO. Now, JMO's not even running a route that's breaking back that would have taken that away from an underneath defender. He's running, again, they're running like 4 verts, so he's running like a double move here at the top of the screen. So whatever. You're not looking there. He's going to look middle of the field. So his first look is to our tight end, our like 4th-string tight end, albeit, but that's where he's looking first. Fair enough. The problem is McKinney's going to take that away because of where he's dropping. So it's not there for Goff. So the second read, he's going to work down the line here. He says, all right, next up, I'm going to the seam. So I have a player in underneath zone. You see that linebacker sitting there on the backside, hook curl zone? That's who Goff needs to isolate. He needs to get that linebacker out of the way so that he can hit Tom Kennedy running a seam. He's going to bend that route right behind the linebacker. They need 15 yards. So he's got to give it a second, but he needs to bend that right behind him. And Goff has to throw a little touch pass to put it over top here and keep it away from the safety in this play. Now, that said, as you're going to see, maybe Kennedy could have got out a little bit faster on this route, but that said, you're going to see it's hard to tell here. Goff is actually going to move his eyes left to right. He's going to look left to right to try to pull that linebacker so he can find a better window to throw this into, because right here he doesn't like it, which, fair enough, there's no underneath threat, right? As a quarterback, you need 15 yards, and there's no underneath threat to pull that linebacker down. That guy could keep bailing as far as he wants to, and there's nothing to say that I can't, because who's threatening the linebacker underneath of Tom Kennedy here? Nobody. Nobody's threatening him. So he can just keep dropping back. So for Goff, it's going to be hard to throw a touch pass. He still maybe could have, but it's going to be very difficult to do that. So he's going to try to push that linebacker left. That way he can get it by his ear. So as he does that, and Goff is still looking back to that seam route, look at what Nixon does. I believe that's Keyshawn. Oh, that might be Valentine. No, that's Nixon. Nixon at the bottom of the screen. You see that outside corner that's sitting over top of Tom Kennedy? He's disallowing Goff to throw that pass. So his third progression would be take the shot to Isaac Tesla. Right, because you essentially have a 2-on-1. That's why teams run 4 verts against cover 3, because it's balanced. So you go 3 by 1. I got a 2-on-1 here at the bottom. That's the look I have to try to throw to. So once he decides he's not going to throw it by that linebacker's ear here, because that cornerback is sitting on top of Tom Kennedy's routes, Goff would now have to go to his third progression, which is bottom of the screen, throw it up deep to Tesla, and hope that Tesla can stack and get over top of Keyshawn Nixon, which he's not at this point. He would have to hope that's going to be the case. If anything, the biggest change that I would like to see be different here is Tom Kennedy's route has to be tighter, right? Because he's going to bend it to get behind that linebacker right here. But because he is so wide, he's so condensed with Tesla, your cornerback is covering 2 people. He's covering 2 people. So now Goff, he has to wait for that to try to get out so he can push it to Tesla. That's the one thing he could have tried to do, is throw it deep and hope he runs under it and hope that safety doesn't take it away. That said, though, when he gets to that third idea, that pressure hits right here. You see where he's at? He's cocking that arm back to rip it. He decides not to. Why? Because Keyshawn Nixon is looking at him. He said, I'm going to take that ball away. So is that free safety. So Goff says, I don't know if I want to do that. And when he decides not to do that, right here in this split second, he would have to say, I'm heaving it up to Isaac Tesla, who doesn't have a step, or I'm going to try to get left here and get out of this pressure that I feel right off my right shoulder. Problem is, he not only has it off his right shoulder, he has it off this guard too, who he walks in and gets the sack. So ultimately, yes, I can criticize and say, man, I wish Goff would have just heaved it up. And I wish you would have. Right, in hindsight, like I would have told Goff, hey, man, just throw it up deep. See if Tesla can run under it. But he doesn't. And it's not out of the realm of understandable, right? It's not like I don't understand why he didn't do that. But that was kind of the last, like, what are we doing offensively, right? Fair enough. Let's go to the defensive side. Chat, I appreciate y'all hanging with me because I know this can be boring. I don't want this to be boring because I think this is, let me say this real quick. The reason I do these, all right, are not because maybe I don't know if they're the most entertaining. I could sit here and just be very emotional and kind of yell at people, but I don't want to do that. I think this is the game. This is what we watch. And I don't know there's a lot of stuff that I don't know what's going on, but what I do know I want to share. So if I can show you this and we can maybe see what we're seeing together, maybe you see something different, let me know. This is the game that we watch on Sundays, right? So we have to watch it on Sundays. We have to understand what we're seeing. Otherwise, there's no reason to watch it. I think this is everything. This is the football game we watch. This is everything. This is what went wrong, what went right. I appreciate it. All right. Dude, sometimes you just got to give the receiver a shot. I agree. And in that case, in hindsight, I wish you would have just threw it up to Tesla. You got a single high safety. So I just wish you would have threw up the Tesla. Fair enough. That was the last resort for him. But I understand why the sack happened. You know what I mean? But the offense does get clicking. So there is a positive. The pass game really did carry us, which is crazy. The pass game really did carry us. Let's go from there. Let's go from there. Let me drop myself out of the way here. Love the breakdown. Appreciate it, Spencer. Chat, I appreciate y'all, man. Let's continue. Let's have fun then. Let's have fun with this. This is where the defense thrived. Hold up, I'm glitching. Okay, we're good now. This is where the defense thrived in this game. And this is the thing. Say the Lions found the Packers again in the playoffs, which I don't know that's going to happen. Hopefully it does. Hopefully we're back in the playoffs. But for whatever reason, say these two teams played again, I can guarantee you Calvin Shepard's going to be looking at this game saying, dude, I wish I would have challenged this team even more. Because there's an understand, like, you can't run man every play because you're just going to start running pick routes. But one thing the Lions have gotten better with man coverage is their spacing. They don't get bumped off a lot of their routes unless, as we saw in this game, it was 4th down and 1 and they're at the 3-yard line and they're just walking into the end zone, which we still should have avoided because of our own doing. We allowed them to get there because of a defensive penalty. That said, though, this is where the Lions drive. Watch them defensively here. Cover 1 blitz. And you're going to see in a lot of these plays, the Packers are pretty heavy pass pro, right? They'll leave a tight end in or a 6th offensive lineman in or the running back in, and they got 7 guys pass protecting. Notice how many routes they have here. There's 3 routes on this play. So the Lions have a decision to make. All right, look, they're not putting anybody out. They're leaving everybody in for pass protection, and what they're doing is they're saying, we're going to give Love time to at least get to that first read. So the Lions got a decision. Either you come after him, or you say we're trying to do the opposite. We're going to try to drop 8 in the coverage. That's the one wrinkle I wish I would have seen in zone coverage, right? And you'll see why, but like the first reception we saw Reed give up, maybe we could have, when we went zone, dropped like 8 in the coverage versus dropping 7 and just going a 4-man standard rush. Because maybe we could have just said, we're just going to outnumber you underneath and force you to hold the ball, and hopefully 3 gets there. But you can see the Packers strategy, and they've been holding on to this strategy for years against us. We're not letting Love get sacked. Love will not get sacked, right? Now, sometimes we need to win. Hutch didn't win every time. He should have won more against Tom. But that was their mindset. We're not letting you get sacked. We're going to go play action. We're going to leave 7 guys in. If they don't blitz, we'll release out of it. But we don't need a lot of guys on routes. So what the Lions did on the flip side is say, hey, man, when they were successful, it was man coverage. It was blitzing them, and it was forcing Love to get to maybe 1 read. And look at this. The coverage is good. The problem is they got us a couple of times on some big plays, but a lot of the times the coverage was good. That time it's a complete pass. Let's now go to the run defense here. Okay, what happens on this big run? This is a 3rd down and short. Lions can get off the field. And it's the little things. This is why I said about Davenport to begin this. Davenport actually got some pressure. Davenport just jumped inside a few times against the run. If you watch this back, the Packers, a lot of times, they go to their toss runs right at Davenport because they're saying Davenport's getting upfield. We can go around him. We're going to slow him down with that. We're going to give them problems. But this is an inside zone. And you have Davenport over the C gap here. So Davenport, watch what he does. He jumps inside into the B gap. He's taking himself out of the C gap. So now as Alex Anzalone, you can see Jack Campbell slides to the backside B gap. He's stepping in to take away that running back, but then they got a split zone on top of it. So now you definitely need Davenport to be sitting outside that C gap to push this thing back inside. That way, Alex can then scrape outside. Well, Alex doesn't really scrape outside. He kind of stays inside the same gap Jack Campbell is now sitting in. So they're all clogged up in the same spot. Alex needs to get out. Davenport already jumped in. You definitely have to get out here because if Alex gets out and he sets the edge on this tight end, Jack Campbell can scrape all the way across, stand in it, and run Josh Jacobs over. He's going to stand there and wait for him and say, I'm making this play or you're getting the first down. It's one of those two. But Alex slides in right behind Davenport. Now both guys take himself out of the play, and there's no chance. Now we're watching to break a big run, a run that should not have happened, but the little things get us. And Thomas Harper missed a tackle. Thomas Harper didn't play that well. I'm going to be honest with you. All right, Thomas Harper was stressed. They made some good plays. I didn't think Harper played that well. He didn't make a ton of great open field tackles, and also in coverage, he felt a tick late a lot, which is unfortunate, but that's what it felt like. Okay, how about this? Lions don't get calls. Hutch definitely got held. And look, Hutch had his wins in this game. It wasn't like Hutch was silent. He had his wins. The problem is a lot of our wins still didn't turn to pressures because we didn't have the marriage come together. And sometimes that's just the Packers' own doing, saying, dude, we're just going to throw it immediately. We're not giving you a chance. Like, for example, here. Now, this one's a little bit different because we're offside. But this is the things that cannot happen from the Lions. These are the things that beat them in this game. This is where it's like, okay, Packers are going to make plays, right? Sometimes Love makes a great throw, Wicks makes a great catch, whatever it may be. But when you look at some of these plays, you're like, okay, what could have we done better that the Packers can't control? It's these things. Why are we going offside here, DJ Reader? We're going offside on a 3rd down and 5. This is an immediate first down, and they don't even complete the pass. Now, yes, they probably don't take the shot here, but what have the Lions done good all game is man coverage, man blitz. They've done it well all game. Here they go cover 1 rat, right? So they got 1 underneath defender. Where is he throwing the ball here? If this isn't offside, I don't know where he's throwing the ball here. But we jump offside. He takes the shot immediately to get the ball out, and DJ Reed breaks it up. But nope, we jumped offside. We just gave him the first down. That's undisciplined. I completely agree. Just can't happen. We're at home. Why are we jumping? It just can't happen. That's a 4th down and 5. Maybe they beat us, but make them beat us. Because what the Lions did and if you look, Love's completion percentage wasn't great. He just had some explosives. So obviously the explosives, sometimes you give him credit. Sometimes you're like, what are we doing? The Brian Branch play, I'll show it. I don't know what he's doing. But the Amik Robertson beat 1-on-1, that one's a little bit more understandable. But at least make them do that. We're not even making them beat us. The best thing that we did in this game is make them struggle to get completions. And that's always been the recipe for success against Jordan Love for us. We have to make them struggle to get receptions. And the Packers' flip side has been, okay, if that's how it's going to be and we're going to struggle to get receptions, obviously we want explosives. So for us to get explosives, because we're not completing a high percentage, we can't let Love get sacked. We can't let him get behind the chains. So both teams are in this seesaw battle of they're doing everything they can to not let Love get sacked, and we're doing everything we can to make it very difficult for them to get completions by challenging them. So we have to make them work. We can't give them outs. And we gave them so many outs in this game where you're like, what are we doing? We're just giving it to them. We can't give it to them. Now, I'll give the Packers credit. Later in that game, they did have some good answers for some short yardage completions. The RPOs were pretty successful for them. The one I'll show, it should have been an absolute flag. But this was a good run defensive stop. And these are the things that the defense did well, right? Run defense-wise. You're going to see them check at the line of scrimmage. Hopefully I left it in there. And the Lions are seemingly adjusting to the flip, maybe a flip play here by the Packers, right? Love flips it maybe here, goes outside zone right. Campbell drops back. Aleem stays and shoots the B-gap. Watch him here. Bam. Look at Tyleek on the play side. Handles business. We shut that thing down. We shut it down. Let's continue. After shutting that down, now we go to a 4th down and 3. And I think this is the touchdown they throw. And when you see this touchdown that they throw here, oh no, that's not the touchdown. Okay, hold up, real quick. This was kind of the battle back and forth, and we did this to them. They did it to us. The fact is, they executed better when they did this. When they checked at the line, they executed at a much higher level than we did. And you see it right here. I forgot that I left this in here. Yeah, this is a 2nd down and 12, and there's nobody in the A-gap for us. And also, Jack Campbell's dropping out to go to coverage, so this is just a walk in the park to go get 11 yards. Again, it's not challenging them. Also, it's a credit to the Packers because the Lions have gotten away with this a lot this year, putting Al-Quadi Muhammad as a defensive tackle like they do here at the 3 technique, and they're leaving the A-gap open on a 2nd down and long because they're putting their pass rush front out there, and the Packers were too smart for that. They said, we're going to run the football. They're going to run it against it, and they did. They did just that. Lions went to play coverage. They said, we're going to run the football, and they got us. But this touchdown that we gave up here, yeah, they hit us with a double move. And I know coming in, I was like, I want to play top-down aggressive. If you're going to blitz, get after them. Don't let them get those off. And I think we did a lot of that well, even on a play like this. But, dude, and the ball's out fast. The first read, the ball's out for him. I still don't understand what Brian Branch was doing, though. And, again, this is a 4th down and 3. We're off the field here. They have 3 points. We're off the field again here. I don't know what Brian Branch is doing on this play, right? It's a double move. I thought maybe we were in zone. We weren't. You're watching it. We're not in zone. And he bites on the double move fair, but he's still in his hip. I mean, he's literally in perfect phase here. And he's got Harper racing over top. Now, maybe Kirby picks this. Maybe he does, right? I think Kirby has much more range than Thomas Harper seeing this game back. Kirby just strides out there. He's a lot faster to react. I feel like Harper on a lot of these plays just looks slow to get going. Just too slow to get going, right? He doesn't have the range already. Like, go right now, go. Why is he still standing there? Go, Thomas, go. Now he's going. But from Branch's perspective, what is he stopping right here for? He just stops. He just stops. I don't know. My thought was maybe he was looking down because he thought he threw that underneath pass, that overrun underneath him, and he was going to go down and try to make a tackle. But he stops, right? He completely stops. He's in a great position, and he stops, and we give up a touchdown. I don't know. That's the one where it's like, hey, man, make them earn it. The Meek one was understandable. This one is not. That's just not okay. We just gave it up. I guess things like that happen. It's a good ball and everything, but we just stopped. We didn't even challenge it. This was what we did well in the run game. The lead runs were successful for us. I'll give them credit. I wish we would have done it more because the biggest issue that gave us problems was their linebackers. Isaiah McDuffie and Edgerrin Cooper gave us problems in this game. Every toss run, it was a negative, and every time a run didn't go well, they were probably slipping a block and making the play. But assignment-wise, we were not clean in this game. And that was the biggest issue, I think, over everything is we were just not clean. Sometimes we lost some blocks. Like here, KO'd. You're going to see him at the point of attack here. Bam, loses block immediately. These are the plays that you see and you're like, kind of wish we would give Miles Frazier a shot, right? Because maybe we have a chance here, but he loses block. It forced Gibbs to cut back, and he gets a yard on this play. Now, good pass play here. Pass protection, I think, does hold up pretty well here if you look at it. And also, these are the positives. Tristan Colon could potentially compete at guard for us if Graham can get back, because this is good. This is good pass pro. Cover 3 defensively. Goff looks at it well. Cologne picks it up really well here. Pass protection's in a pretty good spot. Good ball. We're off to the races. That was a third and long. The passing offense did help us. And that's where the frustration comes in, because you would think with how many negatives we had and how many what the heck was that run plays that we would have gotten ran out of the building. We probably should have. Like if all the things were true, that with our O-line being where it's at and with their pass rush being where it's at, we're going to get ran out of the building when we're not successful rushing the football at all. When we have that many 0-yard runs, we're going to get smoked. And that didn't happen. We were right there with them. We had a shot to win the game, which is the crazy part. So shot to the pass pro coming through into the big spots. And again, when they started to get the play calls right, Jameson did deliver outside of the fourth down play, but he did deliver outside of that. And that's where I'm kind of at. We're like, our good players, our players that we need to be great, we're pretty darn good, but none of them were perfect. And I know that's crazy to ask, but really none of them were perfect. Everybody had some you could point to: Penei Sewell, James Williams, Jared Goff at the beginning of the game, Brian Branch. Like, all of these guys that played really well, there's still plays you pointed to and you're like, that could have been better. Hutchinson had some losses on Tom, and it's like, if they were just perfect, maybe they get us over the top. But you combine that with some of these missed assignments, you're going to see, what are we doing? Like this, for example, right? This is a duo run for the Lions offensively. And this gets things started because we're in a 2nd down and 10 after a run that already didn't pan out. You're going duo run, and nobody climbs to the linebacker. Now, understand, duo plays, hard double teams, you're slow to climb to the linebackers. You're trying to create movement and then climb, and then you're trying to get off that block to go with the linebacker late, right? You're trying to hold these guys up as long as possible. But nobody's even climbing to get the linebacker here. Tate Ratledge, like, okay, maybe go climb and hit Isaiah McDuffie. No, he doesn't. Tristan Colon, maybe go get him. All right, he does, but way too late. And it's like, we got strong double teams going on, and nobody's climbing to go pick the linebacker at any point until it's way too late. This play should have at least been somewhat positive. Nope. This is a negative 2-yard run because nobody ever gets upfield. This was the biggest issue I had with the O-line. I expected that they're going to lose some. I expect Micah's going to win some. Tate might get run over like we saw. Like, that's going to happen. KO's going to lose some. Colone's going to have some ugly. He tripped on Goff the first play. Yeah, okay. That's understandable. They got a good front. We got some guys beat up. That's going to happen. But you can't be that broken assignment-wise where you're just like, yeah, we're just kind of handing it to him. You're going to see way more examples of stuff like that, which is just goofy. It's kind of hard to watch, to be honest with you. Again, here's what the Lions did well. Cover 1 blitzing, and you're going to see it. They did it well. And you're going to see from the Packers, their flip side was, we're just not going to hold the ball, right? Love's going to throw it regardless. You can get pressure all you want. I'm throwing it. Look, there's pressure here from Hutch. There's pressure on the backside. He's throwing it. He doesn't care. He's throwing it. He's not taking a sack. And they're going to challenge us. And the Lions met the match a lot of times. I think way more than enough to win this game. For expectation, they did it enough to win this game. And if it wasn't for the dumb things, we might win this football game. Here's where I had the biggest criticism watching back of the defensive play calling. And I understand it's like, okay, but what's the wrinkle? If you're not going to play man, like you got to do something else. You can't play man all 100% of the snaps. Well, shoot, maybe you should have tried one. Maybe you could have. But when you do go to zone, you are just giving them easy access. I mean, look at how easy this is. We challenge them and it's incomplete. Maybe it's a big play, but then we just start giving them things like this. And this is just too easy, especially on certain downs when you're doing it. It's too easy. I mean, this is a 2nd down and what do I have? It's 2nd down and 7, and we're giving them easy access to give them 4 yards to make it a 3rd and manageable. Okay, well, hey, on 3rd down, we're probably going to be aggressive, right? No, we're going to go to cover 3 again. Okay, it kind of looks like man, so maybe you're thinking they're disguising it. They're showing man, they're going zone. But when you motion across and everybody bumps, you're like, yeah, that's zone coverage, dude. It's kind of a disguise, but it's not really. It's pretty clear you're not playing man here. So you go to cover 3 again. It's just easy access. You're asking Alex to get out underneath this guy. Okay, that's fair in high school. Alex is not doing that in the NFL. And Meek's just letting it happen. Like, yeah, we contested it, but you're just giving it. Like, that's a big frustration. I just wish we would have challenged more. Just like this, it's the very next play. Lions go cover 3 sky after watching that happen, and they just give him 5 yards. And look at Lee McNeil. Lee McNeil's got pressure. Lee McNeil's got a win. Watch Lee McNeil here. He's got an immediate win on the guard. Back foot to slip it out there. Like, maybe we could have done some sort of matching of coverage or something. But, like, these are just easy access. Give them 5 yards for some reason. And I guess this is the game they wanted to play. I don't know. I mean, I understand rotating it and keeping it fresh and not doing the same thing over and over. But it's kind of like, dude, with the success that we had challenging them, why are we allowing this to be the case? This is one I'm going to call it the rest. How is this not an eligible man downfield? Watch Zach Tom on this play. This man is well beyond and blocking well beyond a yard downfield, and somehow they didn't throw a flag there. Whatever. Let's move on. I don't want to focus on that, but it just frustrated me seeing that. Like, how do they not call this? Now, they got us a few times, and this is the challenge. Sometimes they're going to get you on things like this. But even this play, the Lions weren't being aggressive here. They were playing two-man coverage. They got two deep safeties. They're only bringing a four-man rush here. They're man up everybody else. Hutch gets a win, but Amik, who's in a really good spot for the most part, falls down right there, and we give up the big completion on another third down. I can live with that because at least we're challenging them. You know, in hindsight, you could say, man, I wish you would have blitzed them. But I can live with that. Right? We only got a couple plays left, by the way. Look at this play. The Lions, this is a, hold up, let me get the down right here. This is a 3rd down and 7. This is a 3rd down and 7, and the Lions get 12 on the field. That can't happen. We are handing them gifts. And then all those little pick plays, little rub routes open up. That shouldn't have happened. 12 on the field, and it was exactly what we thought it was, an extra cornerback. We're rotating corners all the time for some reason. For some reason, Rock Ya-Sin's on the field now, and Amik shouldn't be out there, I guess, and he get called for 12 on the field. Why? We're doing too much. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, that's going to be an emphasis. Guys, we just can't do it. We're doing too much. We don't need to. Okay, here was the thing with Jameson. I'm glad they got away from it later after this play. But this was the first example where I'm frustrated. Like, can we stop asking Jamo to do this? Like we gotta stop asking Jamo to do this. This is a 2nd down and 9. And they're going cover 3 buzz, which they always play against us, which again means, and you can see about a linebacker going to flat, we have a flat route. So it's a 1-on-1 on the outside to Jamo. He's not open. You're running a deep curl with Jamo. Like, this is a St. Brown route. Yes. This is a Isaac Tesla route. It should be. It's not a Jameson Williams route. So why we're trying to do it, I have no idea. No idea. He doesn't get open on these. I mean, maybe if you put him against like some bum cornerback, maybe he does get open just because of who it is and he's so scared over top. But like legitimate cornerbacks, they're not giving him this. It's an awful break. The guy's not open at all. And luckily we kind of saved the day. We found Kennedy late and we got a positive out of that. But like that, those just need to, like, I don't know. The good thing is they responded to it well. So I guess I'll look at it as a positive. I don't think they did that again with Jameson Williams, which is good. And these were the routes that Jamo wins on when he's running away from people. This is a good ball. We lose up front with Ratledge. That's going to happen. Good, deliver a pass, cover one blitz. All right, cool. We're out of there. We're out of the hole. We got through a lot of the tough spots we were in. And Jameson was a huge part of that. We just got to put him on routes to be successful. Stuff like that doesn't make any sense. I don't know why we do it. I don't understand it. All right, okay, let's get back to the offensive line, and we're going to start questioning reality with some of these. Let's go to a stretch run here. Some of these, and Jahmyr, look, I'm saying this, don't take this out of context. I love Jahmyr Gibbs, right? But everybody has some good and some bad that you question it, and this is part of the reason where maybe you could have argued at times this was maybe a little bit more of a Monty game. What are we doing? What are we doing? Bro, go upfield. Go upfield. Oh, my gosh, go upfield. Like, dude, and he's doing his job, right? He's pressing the line of scrimmage. He's playing out the run. You don't want guys to kind of short circuit a run and just immediately get upfield and not allow blocks to develop to read through it. But it's a zone. You can plan and get upfield, right? Plan and get upfield. He never does. It's so slow. He's so slow to get upfield here. And Monty had some great runs. So, again, I mean, Gibbs has a great run. So, it's fine. And the offensive line actually played this right. Tristan Colon has no linebacker to climb to, so he just seals on the backside, and that lane opens right up. There's no linebacker there. Stick your foot in the ground, get upfield, give us 5 yards. Not this. It's just for no reason. Let's go to another one here. Nobody climbs to the linebacker. It's not even about losing one-on-one. Nobody's climbing. It has nothing to do with health. Nobody is going up to the linebacker. Isaiah McDuffie is standing right in the B gap, right? Okay, you got a center and a guard for 96. You got a center and guard for him. Let's get a block. Let's climb, Ratledge. Let's get upfield, right? Micah Parsons. Maybe you hinge out Micah Parsons on Sewell and you just get that run right through Isaiah McDuffie. Somebody's got to get upfield here, though. Nobody ever gets upfield. Now, understand at the point of attack, maybe it's not the best block, so that's the problem here, right? You don't really allow Cologne to kind of reset over this block. Somebody's got to get upfield. Right here, go. Like, we got to work upfield. Nope, nobody does. There wasn't even an effort to do it, and we're going nowhere. How about this one? This is the 4th down, right? We're talking about the 4th down. What happened, right? And this was a fine check. Look at the right side of the box here, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 defenders. For 4 blocks with the center plus Jahmyr Gibbs. You have numbers. You have numbers. Watch Isaiah McDuffie not get touched. I can't make this stuff up, dog. I mean, I don't even know what to do with this. I mean, I don't understand it. He's inside shading the guard. Why is Penei Sewell down blocking here? I don't know. To me, maybe this is how they want it to go. This doesn't make any sense. What is he doing? Like, if Sewell goes up and climbs and just hits that linebacker, this might be a first down. Now, maybe Micah Parsons blows it up anyways. Maybe he does, right? You got the guard pulling around. I mean, if the guard picks up Micah Parsons, you still got a shot because then the tight end, or in this case, the receiver can climb up. At least you got a one-on-one with the safety. At least, right? Maybe he could bounce out of it. Dude, you can't do any of that because McDuffie's just walking down untouched. These kind of things can't happen. We're not giving ourselves a chance. It's a 4th and short, and we have no chance to pick this up. Not because we did lose a little bit with Mike on the tight end, so maybe that's a question in its own. But nobody's even touching McDuffie. We're watching him walk upfield and blow this play up. And what's the fix to that? What do we do? There was nothing special about that play. Just nobody blocked him. We didn't even pick up the assignment. We didn't give ourselves a chance at all in that play. And then this touchdown on Amik. I mean, the biggest question, because I thought about cover 4, is maybe they could have blitzed and hurried them out of it. I mean, if you're looking at, they don't have anybody out on route concepts. This one, I wish we would have had more pressure in hindsight, too. This was like the most glaring one. But they have everybody in. I mean, they're leaving a tight end, jip and release. They're leaving a running back in if they blitz. They have everybody here. I just wish we would have had more pressure on this one. Definitely. And this is one time they got us over top. I can live with that one. I can absolutely do it. I still wish we would have did more challenging in man, but I can live with that. I can walk away saying, all right, we got beat. But they got us on that one. But some of this other stuff, I mean, here, Thomas Harper. Lions are in cover 3 defensively. Look at how slow we are to react to this. I mean, he gives you a pump fake here, sure enough, but he's the middle field safety. Look at how slow this is. He's already looking back to the slot, and Harper's still gathering, trying to figure it out, trying to get over there. I mean, we're just letting them have this seam. Again, it's a good throw. It's a good pump fake. It's all those things. Lions bringing a 4-man rush. I mean, there's a little bit here from McNeil, but the first read's out again. The first read's out. Some of those things, again, even that one I can live with, to be honest with you. I can live with some of those things, to be honest with you. This one's covered up pretty darn well in the back of the end zone. We give ourselves a chance here with that incomplete pass, covering that up well in the goal line spot. And then again, this zone running, like, y'all are seeing this with me. Is this not a huge cutback lane? Why is it taking so long to cut back? This is the only reason. And again, I didn't put the Gibbs plays in here because Gibbs is special. We know what he's about. But these are part of the reason where you're like, okay, maybe Monty should have just got the ball a little bit more. Maybe he should have. Nothing against Gibbs. I always want him out there, but maybe he should have got the ball a little bit more because, I mean, this looks like it has a chance. The 3rd down and 3. We got, I mean, what was this? Let me see how many yards we got on this. Oh, we got 0 yards on this. Come on, man. Come on, man. Here's a duo run. This sums up literally all the Lions' losses. I want to show one last play, all right? We're watching all these run plays together. These have a chance. Now, look, KO'd, blown block here, right? He doesn't really reach block that. I mean, he gets cut off by a guy that's on his outside shoulder. That's not great, right? So we can't go upfield. Okay, stick your foot and get upfield. That's just too slow. And also, Decker didn't get a block there. Right, some blown blocks. But this can't happen. This can't happen. This is the play before the drop for Jameson Williams, right? This cannot happen. We talked about this in the preview if you saw it. I said, hey, man, we got to use the receivers but inside the line of scrimmage to block these safeties because they're such a big part of their run game. So we bring Isaac Tesla in. Watch this. What? Yo, you can't make this up, Monta. What are we doing? He doesn't even have a chance to block him. Like, bro, get him closer or something. Like, we bring him on the motion, and I don't know, maybe you should have got squeezed a little tighter. Dude, if you have to get inside the tight end to go hit that safety, get there. What do we think? The safety is going to stand there? Like, bro, we're like a step away from literally this should have been a first down the play before. This has nothing to do with Green Bay. We're going duo run, so we're going to be slow to the linebackers. Hard double teams. And you're going to see the linebackers are patient or waiting. Okay, let's get upfield here, right? Hey, KO stepped up. Dude, the lane's right there, Gibbs. We can't get there. We can't get there. We have a first down. We literally could walk to a first down. Can't get there. Tesla's not there to get the block. No gain. This is the frustrating part. That's why I called it frustrating. I don't know what the fix is for that. Hank Fraley, details, everything. I don't know. The details got to be better. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe if that's Sam Laporte, maybe if that's Khalif Raymond, right? Maybe Khalif Raymond gets that block because Khalif Raymond understands I have to get in there. I need to be tighter than this. I get that block, and now it's a first down. But Penei Sewell, we're seeing it from everybody up front, right? We're going to lose some, and you're going to get that. Caleb's going to lose some. It's going to happen going forward. I can understand all of that. Can it be frustrating? Yes. But can you understand it? Yeah. But some of this stuff just isn't okay. Illegal formation, 12 men on the field gives them a 3rd down and 2 instead of a 3rd down and 7. A face mask on Jack Campbell gives them an immediate first down on what would have been, I think, a 4th down and goal. Let me double check. The face mask would have made it a 4th down and goal from the 1 after throwing that pass away. That was why I showed that play. Let me go to it again. I forgot why I showed that play. We get called for a face mask here on Jack Campbell. I mean, it's unfortunate. I guess things just happen, right? Like, it's unfortunate. But, dude, this makes it, like, we covered it well. Nope, that's a face mask. 1st down and goal. Instead of 4th down and goal from the 1. I mean, we had Alex slip on one of those 2-man coverage, and they gave it the big completion. I can live with losing one-on-ones. We were going to lose one-on-ones. The Packers have good players. Their linebackers played well. Love played pretty darn well in this game. Who else? Christian Watson's a problem. Like, they got dudes. Zach Tom was good when they ran behind him. But to me, the takeaway is not, oh, we're cooked because we can't get after these dudes at all. No, it's part of the game plan for the Packers. It always is against us. Okay. You know, it's not like coverage can't cover a thing, can't cover a cold. Like, no, they made some great grabs, can contest things. Can I question sometimes? And man, I wish we would have challenged them even more. Yep, I question that. I wish we would have challenged them more watching that game back. Because we came to battle in the secondary. And we got out schemed a couple times. You know, there was a battle in that second. If you look, and I can show the plays, in that second half when we came out, the first second down, you know, we saw that big touchdown play on 2nd down, like 7. The Lions went quarters coverage from midfield. And I think they were expecting an underneath pass. I can live with that. Why? Because in the preview, I said on 2nd down and long, you expect something underneath for them to make a 3rd down manageable. That's what they had been doing. We just watched a 2nd down play where they threw a quick out route for 4 yards, right? Made a 3rd down and 3. So for them to say, okay, we're going to go cover 4 again, top down aggressive, is what I would have done. So, okay, you get beat on a shot play on that. You still had a chance to make the play. You get beat, Meek gets beat one-on-one. I'll live with that. But then in the second half, after getting that, the Lions say, okay, we're going man on 2nd down, right? We're going to take those things away. We're going to be aggressive and challenge you. So they go jet handoff and pick up a 1st down. That's that. They got us, right? They got us on that, right? So there is a battle. LaFleur's going to win some. I'll show you the play. Yeah, I'll show you. Okay, let me show you. Let me pull it up. Because there is that chess match, you know what I mean? Like, they have a smart coach too. They're going to get some wins. They're going to figure it out. They're going to get some on us. And you always can live with that. Sometimes you get caught in a scheme. It's like, they got us. And actually, here's the positive. Here's a big positive. I thought the Lions schematically were actually very smart in a lot of spots. Passing the football, I thought they did, outside of that goofy JMO play where we keep running them on deep curls, I thought we actually did a lot of things schematically well to find windows. Some of the throws that Goff made were fantastic. I can show you some of them are outstanding that Goff made. The first one to Kennedy was outstanding. Like, the fact that we had a chance in that game was kind of crazy because a lot of things felt very similar to the first time we played them. Where it's like, this probably should be a blowout, right? I mean, it wasn't really a blowout, but it was like, okay, we're not really in this thing. We were in this thing. And it's still like little goofy issues where it's like, dude, and here's the biggest concern. We are in Thanksgiving week, and I'm showing you our best players. What are we doing? Execution-wise, what is this? You know, maybe it does help when Kylie's back in because he picks up that block that Tesla doesn't. But some of these other ones, man, like Brian Branch, I mean, these are like dumb things where, dude, it's Thanksgiving. This can't happen. This can't happen anymore. Not Thanksgiving. It can't happen anymore. We're way too far in the season for these little things because against good teams, man, when we're injured and we're not in a perfect spot, like, we're going to have issues. Let me see if I can find it. I got an issue because the play-by-play thing isn't showing up. So I'm kind of just guessing. Let me see. Let me go back a little bit. I think this is the second half. Let me go back. Yeah, right here. So here's how they got started in the second half. And we just showed coming out of half, we had a chance. We didn't do it. Ben John's huge on details. Maybe we missed that. I think we definitely do. I think we may definitely do it. And here's the thing I think about that. It may not be the issue of like schematically, we aren't intelligent, because I think they are very intelligent schematically. They find windows, and I think sometimes it feels better than what Ben did at times. And there were times with Ben where certain coverages is like, I don't know if we have a great answer for this. Like Tampa 2, when any team would disguise the Tampa 2 on third down, we never felt like we had any kind of answer. Well, this year we just found an answer. I'll show you. We found a great answer on a Tampa 2. The problem is, though, to you, what you're saying is details are obviously not an X's and O's thing. That's something that has to be dialed in through the week of practice. Like we're just not having the little issues that maybe just kind of fly under the radar. But the little things are killing us. The little thing, we're a smart team, but the little things are beating us. We can come out with a good plan, but if that one little thing goes wrong, and that's why do you think, and I think it's a great point, Dan every week tells us, every week after a loss, he's like, it's one guy here or there. Shoot, some of that might be injury, but when it's Penei Sewell, there's no coming back from that. There's no fixing that. That's Penei Sewell, man. That's as good as it gets. If that's an issue, then what do we do? So I think that's a very fair point. And in some ways, maybe you got to simplify some things to just settle it a little bit. Like we can't have these issues anymore. We got to settle these things. We got to make sure what we do is perfect. And maybe it's too late. And hopefully it does get cleaned up. As reps go on, maybe things just naturally get cleaned up on their own. I mean, here was the jet sweep that they came out with in the second half. We started going man on second down and long after getting beat on that big shot play to Amik Robertson. Oh, I'm showing the wrong thing. My bad. This one. Wait. Hold up. That one. Remove that. There we go. This was one out of the second half. And I think it was just smart by them. I'll show you guys our big third down pickup. All right, this was a smart play by them. Jet man, look how slow Terrion's covering it. If Terrion would run, we'd get out there. But, that's the little things. It was a smart play call. They kind of put us in conflict there, pick up a big play. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was like, all right, that's a successful second down for him. And then if you go to, for us, on third down, if you look at that big first third down that we picked up, which was a third down and long, like, it was very smart schematically. I mean, those are things that we haven't done well in the past consistently either, but the details are not there. So I think that's a great point. Let me see if I can find it. See if I can find on this second. I say, because things don't feel like way different. You know what I mean? Like things don't feel way different. You're watching like, man, I don't understand this team. But the little things feel different. The little things don't feel as dialed as what you're used to for the Lions. Not everything just doesn't feel as clean. I mean, we had literally a play this year where two guys were in motion, and it was like week 9. And like that little stuff feels like it's plaguing us, where that little stuff continues to carry on. And some of it's on defense too. So maybe, Dan, like, hey, man, we're having this on both sides too, man. It's not just offense. Like, look at this play. I mean, look at how prepared the Lions were for this play, truly. Does this look like Tampa 2 coverage? Not at all. This doesn't look like Tampa 2 coverage at all. Let me hide it real quick. That way I don't get copyrighted. And I'll show you when the play starts. And the Lions had a great play call for this, and they executed it on a third down and long. This shouldn't have worked. It's like the Lions knew this were coming. That safety, middle field safety, he's the Tampa 2 backer. So they run a sit-down route. They have the 2 verts on the outside to Kennedy. The ball's thrown well. You're ripping it on that first read. Hey, that's pretty good. You know what I mean? That's pretty good, dude. Schematically, woo! Hey, we got it. We got it. But, man, if first and second down are ugly because we're not blocking the right guy, none of this matters. Somehow they got to get the details to be clean. So that's why the title makes sense for me, because partly you're like, hey, man, I'm optimistic because I definitely feel like we're capable. In some ways, I feel like maybe we're even more capable. The pass game showed up. But the flip side is the details aren't there, like you're saying, and the little things aren't clean. And the little things that we can control aren't clean. And we have too many dumb penalties. And it's like, can we fix that starting now? I mean, we don't have time. We have to think about it as every game's a playoff game now. Starting now, we need to win every game. That's got to be the mindset. Can you clean that up enough? It doesn't have to be perfect, but you got to cut it in half. You can't have 8 mental mistakes. You got to have 4. Can we get it to 4? Can we get it to 4 or 5? If we can get it to 4 or 5, I still think this team can beat literally anybody. I think this team could beat the Rams. The Panthers just did it. We definitely could beat the Rams, but not like that. Not if you're giving them life like that. Can we do it in that short of amount of time? I don't know. I mean, we're going to find out, but that's where we're at, man. Our backs are against the wall, bro. We don't got time for this anymore. These little dumb things, they can't happen anymore. It's crazy. D-line last 2 weeks. So we just did a D-line thing. For me, there were times where like Aleem got pushed around. I thought Aleem played pretty darn well, though. He got in the backfield a lot for the second straight week, which is a big positive. I thought Davenport was impactful as a rusher. Inconsistent as a run defender. Kind of got outside of him a few times. They attacked him. Muhammad, we didn't see a ton of. Hutch was good by his standards, not great. He was good. Made some plays against the run, a couple of key plays against the run. Definitely got some wins. The problem is with the Packers, again, they do everything they can to not take sacks. They'll throw in the first read. They'll leave 7 in. They'll go 3 route concepts. I definitely did not watch. I watched this game and thought the opposite. Like, oh, yeah, we're getting wins up front. We're getting plenty of wins up front. There are some occasions where we're not. We could just point to a couple examples. They got a pretty good pass protection unit. I mean, obviously, I wish they were getting pressure every player, winning every play. They didn't win every play. If anything, I would say the most disappointing element of pass rush was when it wasn't a lean from the interior. Where was it coming from? Because I didn't really feel it from Tyleek. You didn't really feel it from Reader much. You got the offside, so it was actually probably the interior getting pressure because you just didn't feel it as dominant. You felt it from Alim, but not really anybody else from the inside. And again, that's 1 second along where we put Muhammad on the interior. They ran against us and they popped it for 11 yards. It was smart schematically. They play a very smart brand against us. They do not go backwards. I mean, someone said we were watching live, like, oh, Packers. I mean, I think my dad said it. They have like no negative plays. That's how the Packers play against us. They do everything they can to not go backwards. Maybe they do it against everybody, but I know they do it against us. They do everything they can to not play backwards. RPO, balls out. First read, balls out. Heavy protection, balls out. And that's okay. You got to play that game with them. And there was a lot of occasions where we played that game well. We matched up. We challenged. We made them win. They didn't win. A couple times they won. That's going to happen. All right, I'll live with that. But it's just a few things, a few little things here and there, and specifically the flags where you're like, dude, we're just beating ourselves. We're handing this to them. Could you break down some of the offensive protection because it looks terrible? I showed the one, Steve. I don't know if you saw the one in pass protection where at the beginning of the game with Jahmyr Gibbs, where we're picking up the wrong guy in pass protection. And look, pass protection is nowhere near perfect at this point. I thought Ratledge struggled a bit. Tristan Colon, I actually thought settled in for us a little bit there in pass protection, better than I would have expected. I think he needs a shot. KO'd, I would definitely see if Miles Frazier is an upgrade. I would 100% look and see. I think with Tristan, you just had some communication things that were a touch messy. Like I said, Tate was not very good in this game in pass protection. Some of that's understandable because of who you're going against. The tackles were okay. Tackles were fine. I thought tackles were fine versus who they were, going to deal with in this game. I thought they were fine. You didn't really feel havoc off there consistently. You had some, they definitely weren't great, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world. I definitely want to see Frazier. I don't know what he looks like in practice, but at this point, I'd love to see him. And dude, it's just like every run play looks like this. Here, let's show another one just because I got it pulled up in the background here. I don't have those were the ones I had saved, but here, look. Every run play cannot look like this. The details are messy. And that's the thing with Branch. Branch was awesome. This was on pace to be Branch's best game of the season by an absolute mile. He was amazing, except for the one play that he gave up deep because for some reason he just let the route go. He did everything right. He was shutting down every jet run. He was hitting like crazy. He was awesome on Christian Watson one-on-one. I mean, obviously last completion, but he contested it. He did everything right except for that one play. And that's how we're going to remember it, which stinks. He did everything right outside of that, though. Literally everything out. I mean, you see KO'd here on the ground. Obviously, this is where I'm like, hey, man, we got to see if we can upgrade over that. I mean, this is a wham run. Some of this stuff, I wish we would have just stuck our foot in the ground and got upfield, but obviously that blown block from KO'd kind of cost us there. Let me see if there's another example I can show. Tyleek will develop. Readers run stuff only. And that's the frustrating part because Reader was getting some wins these last couple weeks. I didn't think Reader was that impactful against the run in this game, which is probably the most disappointing point. Is I thought he'd be more impactful than he was against the run. I don't think he was. I think he was fine. He's been more impactful in the past than what he was in this game. And he's also been a pass rusher the last few weeks. Like I thought he was playing his best football over the last few weeks. I don't think he lived up to that in this game. But I thought he was, playing his best football really coming into this game. Let me see. I mean, it's kind of hard because outside of just losing one, like again, KO'd, we got to see if we can replace that. Some of this stuff, though, like we kind of are just where we are. I would say Tristan Colon was maybe the biggest positive from a pass protection perspective because he was fairly consistent. He was fairly consistent in this game in pass pro. I walked away like, okay, I think we could live with that. Like, it's not great, but we could get away with that. Tate Ratledge was probably the most disappointing because this was the first game where I walked away feeling like, Tate Ratledge, he was so consistent on an upward trajectory. And this game, I was like, that looked like a rookie. That looked like a rookie seeing Micah Parsons like it did week 1. This looked like a rookie right here. I mean, Micah's a handful for everybody, but that's what it looked like. I think Colon should move back to guard after Graham comes back. 100%. That's where I'm getting at with it. I would 100% give Tristan Colon the look at guard. And if you're not going to go Miles Frazier, think about him at guard. I would 1,000% do that. Because I mean, like, if you're not going to change anything, what's going to change? Outside of coaching, the details better. Who knows if that's even going to change? Something's got to change, and I would look at that. Yeah, I mean, every game is a must-win now, it feels like. Like, we got to find a way. And there's no doubt in my mind that we can. I mean, here's another example of Tristan Colon. We can definitely beat the Cowboys. I know all the pessimism after this game, and fair enough, is going to be like, oh, man, how about all those dudes? How are we going to deal with all those receivers? Like, I felt fine with how the coverage played. Yeah, we gave some big plays, but, dude, we're more than capable. If we don't do dumb stuff, we're more than capable, man. Make the other team do some dumb stuff for once. Feels like we're always walking away feeling like we did the dumb stuff. Watch Tristan Colon here. Right? It's pretty good. I can live with that. That's what it felt like a lot of the game. I mean, he had some losses, but it more of it felt like in the run game than that. Yeah, the very first play, right, where he tripped over Cologne. It felt like that. There was times in this game where it felt like, okay, Cologne at center is kind of weird, right? Maybe he's not playing as fast. Like, he would snap the ball a little slow, it felt like, versus everybody else, and he'd get out a little slow. But I was absolutely pleased with what he did in pass pro. And the other thing is, I thought Goff saw the field incredibly well. I thought Goff saw the field so well in this game. He had the 20-yard scramble on a cover 6 because he read it well, which is also good pass protection. He saw the field so well in this game. After that, for even the first drive when he missed throws, he saw it well. He just missed the first 3 throws. But he saw it so well as the game went on. Like here again, cover 6 goes to the quarter side, kind of pulls it away. Maybe not the best accuracy. It's not a huge gain, but it was positive. I thought he saw the ball so darn well and saw the field so darn well in this game. He was playing for it. And that's a huge reason that our pass game kept us alive because he didn't feel lost ever. I've seen him against the Packers look lost. He didn't look lost once in this game. I always felt like he knew where to go with the football. Outside maybe the 4-verse play where he took the sack. But even then, he still kind of worked through it as we showed. He got us into the right play here on the screen tunnel look. Like, he was leading us, man. And again, Tesla doesn't block anybody there. I love me some Tesla, but man, we got to get some blocks going, dog. Got to get some blocks going. Offense first play touchdowns. Which one was that? The Amik one? Yeah, in hindsight, like, I think you would change it up. You wouldn't sit in quarters. But I think it was more on the Packers where I'd give them credit for the game time and situation to say we're going to take a shot here versus going underneath, which we have all game. And it wasn't like Amik couldn't have made a play. I mean, you don't want to be in that environment. Like, in hindsight, yeah, you just wouldn't do that because you'd be like, oh, let's be more cautious. Maybe go 2-man there and we give him help. But, we could have won the game with that being in play. But it's the one to Branch, which was like, what are we doing? How does that happen? I still don't understand that one. Oh, Amik plays nickel. Does that mean him playing corner is bad for him, or can he really play corner? I mean, he plays wide a lot. After this game, though, he would not play wide again for me. Not unless there's another injury. And that's not a bad thing. Actually, Amik played pretty good ball. He had the one play in the nickel where he gave the big corner route for a first round, and obviously the big touchdown. But outside of that, he actually did a lot of good. You just kind of remember the bad, which is fair. All 22 is the only way you really can see all these guys. But the problem, or I would say the big thing is after this game, I want Tyrion to get the snaps, and I want DJ Reed to not come off the field anymore. Like, these are my guys. We're rolling with it because just one instance of the Lions getting caught for 12 on the field, seen enough. We can't have that happen anymore. We're just risking dumb things happening. Regardless of whether it should happen or shouldn't, we're risking dumb things happening. It can't happen anymore. So I'd like to leave Amik just in the nickel. Hey, that's your role, dude. That's what you're going to play. We're not going to make it overly complicated. That's what you're going to play. The other dudes are not coming off the field. Like here, we got some cover 4. It's played pretty well here. Got a throwaway. After watching Seahawks kill the Vikings, how do we lose to them? More of the same? I don't remember that game, to be honest, that well, top of my head. I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember exactly. I don't remember, but I'm sure it was more of the same. Where we're like, oh, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? We're still figuring things out, and you're always going to be figuring things out when you got replacements stepping in. I get that. But the guys that you expect to not have those issues, we're having too many issues. And we definitely need to find games where we can lean on Monty. Like, Monty should have been leaned on in this game, and he wasn't. There's a time and place where you have to say, Monty's the best option. Let's lean on him. That's okay. He was the best option in this game. I mean, like here, this is Penei Sewell losing 101. And these are the things we're getting frustrated about. It's an outside zone. He's losing 101. The blocks are there. Tristan Clone's doing his thing. Let's get upfield here. Nope, we're going to bounce out of it. Like some of these, I'm like, man, if you would just give us the 4 yard instead of 0. And this, we've had this before. This is the second time I've said this year. We've had a game where it's like, man, someone could have just gotten Gibbs' ears and say, just take what's there. I think, dude, that might have been the Green Bay game from week 1 where I was saying that, which is crazy. But it might have been where I was like, dude, if Gibbs could have just got a field. I mean, I love Gibbs, but there's certain games where it's like, we just need the 4 yards. We just got to stop playing 3rd down and 10 football. So what do? Amon-Ra's gone. And that's the positive. The pass game still showed up without him. I think they have concepts for JMO. Tesla's got to continue to get involved. I think that's the answer. You have to keep using Isaac Tesla. You have to use Tesla on a lot of those St. Brown routes. You got to be confident in him. You got to use him. Keep using Tom Kennedy because he did a fantastic job. But you have to get Tesla, continue to get Tesla involved. This was the most involved he's been all year. He had the touchdown pass. He had like 2 receptions, I think, in this game and like a 3rd target. You got to keep getting him involved after this. He's trending the right direction, and if there is a time that he has to go, it's now because he's kind of going to be forced into that action. Get him going. Unless there's Khalif Raymond gets back, you got to get him going. Again, these pin pull stuff just never worked. McDuffie, Edgerrin Cooper, he was the killer. Edgerrin Cooper killed every one of these plays. Every single one of them. Credit to him. He killed every single one of the pin pulls. I really think Dan loses the big picture by calling offense. It's possible. It's possible. I mean, have details been messy all season? Maybe, right? Like, I feel like, yeah. I don't know they've been, but this was the worst. This is the worst in recent memory from our offense. This many mistakes from guys that you trust, the offense line being messy. This was the worst. And again, it's not losing. It's just not blocking any assignments that make any sense. We're just not assignment sound. This was the worst. And maybe you do lose some of that with Dan play calling, where you're not getting as much of the attention on the little things from him. I don't know. Lions have more problems stopping great linebackers. Yeah. Edgerrin Cooper gave him. They should have just stopped doing that. I don't know why they kept doing it. They just kept doing it. It was like an answer for them instead of going underneath was to try to do a pin pull. Dude, that was the worst example of hitting your head against the wall. Every time we did it, it was terrible. Every time we did it, it was so bad. It's like, bro, we're gonna do it again. At least you didn't do it like 9. We only did it like 3 times, but it was bad every time. Here's another pass, bro. Like, again, this is solid. I mean, you get a little loss here, I think, from Tate. But Tristan Cologne's doing his thing. He picks up Gary. Tate loses, but Cologne's doing work. I'm telling you, bro, I was cool with Tristan Cologne and pass pro. Most of all, I think Brad has need a bit of humility. He has been a godsend. Need a bit of humility. Most of all, I think it's safe to say Lions brass started smelling themselves. I mean, the players definitely could have. You know what I mean? Where you're just like a little, you're just not focused. You're not as focused as you need to be. If something's going to reset a team like this that's built to go where they want to go, it's these losses. It's getting swept by the Packers, man. You lost on Thanksgiving. You're 7-5. If this doesn't lock you in, nothing will. Like, this is it, man. If this doesn't get your attention focused on the details, nothing will. It's now or never. This is the last wake-up call, bro. There's no more time for it. You got to be playing your best football. You know what Ben Johnson said earlier this season? We will be playing our best football in December. The Lions are not playing their best football right now. They're on a roller coaster every week. This is still the play where Gibbs like, dude, get a field. Oh, my gosh. What running quarterback do you think would fit perfectly here? Take us all the way? A running quarterback? I think Goff played really well in this game. I'm intrigued by Lenora Sellers, to be honest. And he's not a replacement for Goff, but in this year's draft, I am intrigued by Lenora Sellers. Like, those guys are always dangerous, but I actually think Lenoris is a pretty intriguing product. Not just because he's super athletic, but I don't know if he sees the field incredibly well. But I do think that there's instances where you get really excited about his instincts. All right, there's something there. Probably add Vet or Meeks for what? Tesla and Tom Kennedy? Oh, yeah, I think you just roll with what you got because you got Lovett still. I don't know if they're going to play him, but I mean, Khalif Raymond should be back soon, right? Khalif Raymond ain't like, and they'll use Khalif. They love Khalif. I love me some Khalif too. He's another guy that should settle the waters for us a bit. Like, this stuff, and y'all, when I showed these clips, it's not like I was spacing these out. These clips were like one after another. I'll show it again. What are we doing? Who are we blocking here? Who's climbing? Nobody's going to touch the linebacker? Cool, man. That's not losing. That's just not being assignment sound, man. That's having zero awareness of what's going on. Zero awareness. And Frank would help, absolutely. Right? And Graham would have been better than Clone in this game as a run blocker. And look, I honestly, I thought we could be fine with Graham. We just need to figure out left guard. I think after this game, you have to walk away saying, look, when Graham's healthy, put him at center. All right? And he's going to upgrade us. Because he's going to calm the water. He's not going to be great. He's not going to move people around, but that's fine. Tate, we need better than this last game. Left guard is a wide open competition. KO'd, you are not guaranteed the spot. It's KO'd, it's Miles, it's Cologne. You three battle it out. We're picking somebody else. Or we're rotating during the game. In some way, somehow, you got to figure that out. Because that's where we're at. That's what we have. We got what we got. And at very least, Graham is smart enough where we don't have that many breakdowns up front where you're just questioning who in the world are we blocking. Because I'm watching Penei Sewell question, and he's not. I mean, it's like, who are we blocking, dude? This stuff is not okay. Like, this has nothing to do with I can't block the guy in front of me. This is we're not blocking the right people. Who's picking the linebacker here? And like I said, I got no issue with Graham. Like, Graham is capable. Graham is capable. Again, he's not going to put us over the top. He's not going to change the game. But if anybody can settle the waters more, we were not looking like that with Graham. So if he can at least calm us down to be assignment sound, I'm fine with that. But that means you have to have better play at guard. Because if you're not going to get a dog at center, you got to have better play at guard. And Tate's been on that rise. Left guard hasn't been. We got to get better play there. And you got 3 options on your team right now when Graham comes back. So figure out who's going to take that role and let's roll because it should be open. Maybe it is KO, but it should at least be open. Maybe rotate, do something. Do something, bro. But as a whole, we got to figure this out, man, because we just ain't clean. Tate, I think he is going to be the center of the future. I do think that's going to be the case here. Right? I do think that's going to be true. What up, Rogue? I don't think the deep. I agree with what you're saying, Spencer. Up until the problem with getting sacks against Green Bay is they're just not going to give you they're doing everything they can to not get sacks. So if you're not going to get sacks, you have to lean into what's working, in my opinion. And what was working was challenging them, making them find completions. I mean, their first 2 drives were ugly. Up until that touchdown pass, he's probably like 3 for 9. I mean, it was ugly offense against man coverage. And if we would have just, I think, stayed in that world, dude, I honestly wouldn't have been mad at 2 point there if they're like, dude, we're playing man every play. Every play until you consistently beat us is man coverage. Get open. I wouldn't have been mad at that, to be honest with you, because it just didn't feel like they were consistent with any of their answers. And all of a sudden, they just started giving some access. And so it's like, hey, if you're not going to get there, make them hold the ball. Because if they go stretches where they're completing at a low percentage, they're going to start holding on to the ball because they need to complete passes. Like, they can't be that inconsistent. And I think we gave them an out too many times. I think we just gave them an out, man. I think we gave them exactly what they wanted when we went zone. I think they were so happy seeing some of that zone coverage. Like, hey, man, that's easy. That's just an out route. I could throw that. There's no thinking here, man. I'm just firing it. And Matt LaFleur is way too smart for zone. He's always torched us in zone coverage because there's always windows in zone. And I'm going to be honest, we don't disguise our zone very well. Unless it's third down, you pretty much know what we're playing. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, I kind of know what you're in there. We showed the one where they shot this guy's man. It was like one motion, and you knew that was zone coverage. Like, look at this. This is man. This is good across the board. Why didn't we make them live in that world more? You got to make them live there, man. You got to make them earn it. I wish we just did a little bit more in this game, man. And I do think if we played them again, I would hope that this is going to be a massive focus if we played this team again. Man. But here's the thing, though, right? We're paying Aleem big money. Hutch, obviously, the biggest money. And Hutch has been very good. Hutch is still a top pressure player, if not the top in football. And he got after it. Aleem was awesome in terms of getting pressure in this game. It's rare to find teams that have 2 guys that can do that. I believe we're already in the upper echelon. I think if you're just looking at for this game specifically, we can talk about other games, but this game specifically, if you're just looking at sacks, you're doing yourself a disservice because you're not taking into account what Green Bay is going to allow to happen. It's kind of like last week when we played the Giants. If you just looked at the sacks and you were like, oh, man, dude, Giants got nobody that can get after it, you'd be doing a disservice to the Giants because they do. You have to change the way you have to play the game, right? Like teams, the Lions were not going to let the Giants destroy them in that game. To the extent where it's like sometimes they're down, we're just going to hand the ball off. Like we're not going to lose the game doing that. And they were just okay with that. And that's how the Packers play us. Because if you go back, like there were times where Hutchinson would destroy the Packers, and you're like, oh shoot! Like when LaFleur first got there, Hutch would wreck it, and it was like there's a big fumble, there's an interception when he's trying to check it down, and it would destroy them against us. And they've gotten away from that completely. They're like, dude, we're not letting that happen. Love, whatever you do, just throw it somewhere. You will not take a sack. It's like, all right. I'd be extremely happy if we make the playoffs. I'd be happy too, man. And we still got life. Here's the thing, right? We're technically, we're 7-5 versus a team that's 9-4 now in San Fran. So they have one less loss than us. The positive, though, to it, here's some optimism for the day for everybody. A lot of these teams play each other. So let's say Green Bay won the division. They swept us. I mean, I think that would be ideal at this point. Root for Green Bay to win the division. Green Bay does play Chicago again, if not twice, right? Hold up. Let me see. I mean, unless you want to root for us to win the division. I mean, that's possible. Yeah, they play the Packers twice. So let's say the Packers beat them both times. First off, that'd be perfect. Secondly, we already play Chicago again. So we could get the division series. We could get the tiebreaker on Chicago. So everything's still in front of us from that perspective. Okay, that would be probably ideal for a wild card spot. Seattle has to play San Francisco. Hold up, I had it wrote down here. Seattle still has to play San Francisco. Seattle, I believe, also plays. No. San Francisco also plays Indianapolis still. Let me get this right here. A lot of these teams still play each other. Hold up. Let me just pull up the playoff picture because this is hard to read. Let me pull up the playoff picture. Like we're technically, it feels like 2 games back, really 1 loss back from a playoff spot. The tiebreakers will make it very tough in this conference. But because we play the Bears again and we can get that tiebreaker over them, everything still feels like it's in front of us because we play them again and we can get that series sweep. And it's going to be tough at Chicago. It really could come down to that last week. But, man, I mean, anything that gives you a chance, you'll take it. You'll take it at this point. I guess we could still have a chance to win the division, but you would need you would really need the Packers to fall apart. You would probably need the Packers to. How could we win the division still? You would probably need, because you want the Bears to win 1, I would think. That way you can sweep the Bears and get the tiebreaker over them and drop them. So you would want those two probably to split, because then Packers would get 4 losses. And then you would need the Packers, say they lost to like Denver. Then they'd have 5 losses. We'd have 5. And if you ran the table, then you could jump Chicago, because if Chicago split with Green Bay, they'd have 4 losses plus our loss would put them at 5. Then we get the tiebreaker over them. Then we'd all have 5 losses, but their tie would put them behind us. Plus, we'd have the tiebreaker over Chicago, so we'd jump both of them, and we'd win the division at that point. But what that starts with is we have to just win our games. So, like, everything is definitely still in front of us, and you will technically need some help, especially if you don't win out. But if you go with the mindset that you can win out here, I still think it's very likely you're going to get yourself in some way, somehow. Whether that's division or wild card, you're probably going to get your way in somehow. You just got to handle your business. And man, we got a tough stretch. But like, if you're a playoff team, you got to beat good teams. I mean, the Panthers just beat the Rams. Kudos to them, man. That's what a playoff team does. You got to beat some good teams on your way, because that's just the life we're going to deal with the fact that we are, we're the 8th team, right? So we're the 8th team in still. So yeah, you have San Francisco, who's 9-4. Let me pull it up so y'all can see this, and we'll kind of leave it on this, I guess. 12-5 definitely gets you in, right? And we probably have a row where 11 would probably get us in too. But let's say 49ers schedule. Let's look at that, because they're the next threat for wild card. So the 49ers play the Titans. They'll win that game. So they'll be 10-4. And then they play the Colts. So if they lost that, they'd be at 5 losses. Now, I don't know what the tiebreaker is with them. So they might have it over us. I honestly don't know. Maybe I can. Because what are like opponents? Well, they definitely have the conference edge on us. I don't know if they have like opponents on us, but they probably would. I don't know, to be honest with you. But I guess if you just had a better record, they play Chicago again. So even if you just went as simple as, hey, They lose to Chicago, which puts them at 5 losses, and then they drop to either Seattle or Indianapolis, and you won out, you jump them. But then there's also the element where Seattle has to play San Fran. So Seattle's still kind of in the same boat too, because if Seattle then were to lose to San Fran, Seattle now all of a sudden would have 4 losses, and the Seahawks, I believe the Seahawks have a pretty tough schedule remaining. Yeah, Seattle still has the Colts, which they could drop that one too. They also play the Rams, which they could definitely drop that one. And the Panthers, which they could definitely drop that one. Like there's plenty of paths to get in still. So I'm still not there yet. Bears lose on this playoff. I mean, it's on the table. You know, it's like week by week here. They got a tough schedule. I think right now I would bet on the Packers to win the division. That's no hate to the Bears. I mean, Bears might go do it. Right now, if it's not us, I'd bet on the Packers to win the division because they play them twice. And I think it's more likely than the Bears sweeping them that the Packers would sweep them. So that'll put us back in the race with the Bears. And again, we play the Bears again. That could be for your spot to at least make the wild card. So, like, it looks rough, but it's just going to come down to winning. You just have to look at it from the perspective of just find ways to keep winning football games. You think San Fran's going to lose a lot of games? I mean, Dallas up next. That's a game now. Like, Dallas is legit. What is it? Rams. Obviously, that's the toughest game left, it feels like. Steelers. You should beat the Steelers. At home, you should beat the Steelers. You want to feel like home against Dallas. You got to win home games. So you want to feel good, very good, at least 2 of your next 3. The Vikings, they look tragic now. Yeah, you lost to them, but it's indoor. It's Minnesota. You should beat the Vikings if you're a playoff team. You should not get swept by a playoff team. Doesn't get swept by the Vikings, right? Like, it just doesn't happen. And then you have the Bears, and that could be for your playoff spot. So, like, it's everything's still in front of them. Like, the season's not over. I'm not hitting the panic button, but I'm hitting a button of playoffs start now. The mentality, if you haven't gotten the wake-up call as a player that we have to be more detailed, whatever the heck we just put on display for everybody to watch on Thanksgiving, it won't happen. If it doesn't start this week, it won't happen at all. It's Dallas. It's at home. It's prime time. It's off a loss. Everybody's counting you out, bro. Lock in. You got to beat this team. So here's why I'll put it all together, right? And here's where the title, this is why I titled like I did. I'm optimistic because I still, and especially after this last game, if we think Green Bay is one of the best teams in football, which I think most people would say are, I don't know. I definitely feel like there's no doubt we can compete with anybody. The Rams are going to be tough. But now being healthy at corner, I felt really good about DJ Reed playing. Reed wasn't perfect, but man, I felt really good about Reed. Terrion's back. I feel like we can match up and give ourselves a chance against anybody. I don't think there's a team that would completely overwhelm us. Even Philly, like if we just played ugly football again. I mean, so many chances in that game. The best team that has a chance to overwhelm us would be the Rams because the Rams pass rush plus that run defense that they could have with their athleticism, they could overwhelm us up front. They are the one team, and we'll find out in a couple weeks. If we handle business against Dallas, we will find out because I don't think there's a better – I mean, they just lost to the Panthers, but I don't think there's a better challenge than that in football. The Panthers don't have the best O-line, where it's like that's a team that's capable because their front seven could be that much of a handful. Their cornerback unit, we should find wins, especially if Saints back at that point. And in coverage, look, they're going to be better than us, you would expect. That said, though, you have a big money DJ Reed, and you got a first-round pick. You still like your cornerback room. You got Brian Branch, who just matched up with Watson for almost all of the game and played really well outside of one play where he dropped off a route. Like, that's going to be the one team that could absolutely, if there's a team left that could handle you, it's the Rams. Outside of that, I don't think there's a team in football that can, that even has it on the table. I don't say that they can't, that personnel-wise can. Like, there's no team personnel-wise outside of maybe the Rams that are like, they have a legitimate advantage over us, like, but that's sizable. I don't think there's a team in football that has that. We'll be better at different areas, and then they'll be better at different areas than us. I think it's kind of one of those things. But when you play these good teams, and we're essentially on a stretch of playoff teams, Rams are a playoff team, Dallas, not a playoff team, but they're playing like a playoff team right now. Steelers, kind of a playoff team, I guess. Vikings, not a playoff team. Chicago, like, most of these teams are at very least competitive. You can't play dumb football. The flags got to go down. The drops got to go down. The goofy starts got to go down. The weird assignments and blocking have to go down. You have to cut. If you cut your own errors that the Packers have literally no effect on in half, you're in a really good spot. So that's where my optimism comes from. I'm comfortable with their cornerback room. I'm comfortable with how Golf is playing and seeing the field. I think schematically they're very smart right now in their passing concepts. I think run game has to be smarter. I think they still do dumb stuff, and obviously they have to be assignment sound. I feel good with Graham at center if he's there. If he's not there, I got big questions because we were not detailed. But if he's there, I think we're going to be detailed. It's just, will we have enough wins? Maybe if we can get left guard figured out, maybe Mahogany comes back. If we can get that figured out, we should have enough. But I'm comfortable with our weapons, even though they've had drop this year. I bet on the history for those guys. I bet on JMO's history. Obviously, these things not having Laporta. Gibbs is by a mile playing his best football as a pass catcher. Rushing, I didn't love it. We have to find a way to get Montgomery going. There are games where it's better for Montgomery than others. That last game should have been a Monty game. I truly believe that wholeheartedly. We should have fed Monty a lot more. We should have lit a lot more to lead runs because every lead run felt like a big run for us. Every time we had an explosive is because we put a fullback, which was Zach Cornton, and we let him lead the way because we stopped allowing the linebackers to be completely unblocked. I'm showing you plays of us not blocking a linebacker. You put a fullback, it simplifies it. Go hit the linebacker. Go hit the linebacker, and it worked. All right? So do that more. Get Zach Cornton in there. Let him lead block. And you stop all the silliness, and you're just getting downhill on teams. I still believe in so much of the personnel and makeup of this team, no doubt. And I still believe in Dan Campbell. As aggressive and crazy as he is, I believe in him. But they're not executing in those downs because they're not clean enough. They're not detailed enough. So that's the optimistic side. The frustrating side is, like I just said, they're not playing detailed enough. For a team that absolutely should be, at least half of these losses, they should be cleaner than they are. Every loss feels the same. Like, what are we doing? We got way too many mistakes. Too many mistakes. We clean those up, we'll be fine, but every team's feeling that way. But that's like good teams. Like, if we were a bad team, we would get smoked by some of these guys. I'm telling you, this Packers game would have been a blowout if we couldn't hang. We would have been a blowout. Because we went 0-yard run, 0-yard run. I mean, we did that so many times. That game, we should have got smoked. But we had injuries on the O-line. We couldn't. We looked horrible rushing at times. Absolutely horrible. Dumb penalties. We should have got smoked by the Packers if we didn't have the personnel matchup. But we do. We do have the guys that can keep us in games. And all of them made mistakes. But yet, Brian Branch was pretty darn awesome outside the big play. You know what I mean? Like JMO was pretty darn awesome outside of the drop. Jared Goff played really good football outside of the start. Gibbs did a lot of good in the pass game, just did some dumb things in the run game. They definitely have the people to do it. But, man, it's now or never. You're either going to be a clean team or your season's going to go down like this. And there's nothing out there to save them. And you know what? In some ways, I think it's here's what I'll say. It's a very good opportunity to address the adversity that's going to be at your front door starting Thursday. Frank's not coming to save you. Right? Frank can't save you. He's not coming. All right? You thought he was. He's not. He's not coming. So you are what you got. You got what you got. You figure it out. Right? You got nothing coming in. You have what you have. Either everybody believes that they can do it or they don't. And I'll tell you from what I've seen, I believe they can. But here's the thing too, I don't think Frank would have solved some of these issues. Frank is not going to have Brian Branch not turn around for some dumb reason. Frank is not going to fix 12 men on the field on defense on a 3rd down and 7 to make it a 3rd down and 2. Frank isn't, I wouldn't expect, fixing Penei Sewell not blocking a linebacker for some reason. Frank's not fixing these problems. DJ Reader jumping offside on a 3rd down and 5, giving them a free 1st down on what would have been a 4th and 5. Frank wouldn't fix that issue. Now, Frank would change it because we probably wouldn't have as many 0-yard runs. He'd push some people around a bit. But that just is where we are. We got to be cleaner. And you don't have that margin for error. Maybe he shrinks your margin for error. Well, realistically, you're not winning a Super Bowl with as many errors as we make. You throw Frank on here, this team's still not winning the Super Bowl playing like that. That many mistakes is not winning anything. You're not winning a Super Bowl playing that ugly of football, even if Frank Ragnall's here last week. I truly don't believe that, because Clone did more than enough in pass pro for what you'd expected. We stayed alive on offense because of what we did on 3rd down and long passing the football. And if it was that bad at center, we would have got ran out of the building. But it wasn't. We did enough. If Golf was that uncomfortable, we would have got smoked because he wouldn't have stood in there and threw anything. But he did. If we didn't have guys that get open, we would have been over because Saint went down. But we did. It's kind of great in a way because every team's got to go through this at some point. Dan always talks about it. Well, hey, man, it's here. It's here whether you like it or not, man. It's here. The adversity set in. Find a way. And it's like this is make or break time for him, and I kind of love it. Like as a fan, because you're gonna find out this week. I'm telling you, you're gonna find out Thursday. Lions go out there and lose. It's probably gonna be dumb stuff. We're absolutely gonna point to mistakes, no details, dumb penalties, drop passes, fumble maybe, and you're gonna be like, look, man, this team mentally, they're not there. This team doesn't have the mental makeup to go make it happen this year. They just don't have it. We're gonna find out as soon as Thursday. Because if that's not the message, as like we need to win every game, we're sending the wrong message. We're going to find out Thursday. It needs to happen. It needs to be detailed. And you need to beat this team. No excuses. Find a way. You know what I mean? Like, there were teams that would kill for some of the things that we have as a team right now. They would kill for a Brian Branch on a rookie contract, a receiver room with or without St. Brown. But with St. Brown, oh my gosh, man. With Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield not getting paid, you're not even paying that dude. Teams would kill for this, man. I'm telling you. And it's like, you go find out Thursday what they're about, bro. Dan Campbell, you better get these boys ready, and they need to be detailed. I don't need the rah-rah fired up yelling at people. I need them to stop doing dumb stuff. Do your job. Be clean. Davenport, stop jumping inside. And then when Davenport does jump inside, Alex, don't follow him. What are we doing? What are we in 12th, 7th grade? Like, why are we doing that? It's an NFL team. We can't do that, but we do it. I think it's good. And it's great that it's against the Cowboys because there's literally, like, it doesn't take anything. Everybody's fired up to play the Cowboys. Everybody wants to beat the Cowboys. And you're doing it for your home crowd in prime time? Come on, man. It starts Thursday. And if you go handle business and you smoke this Cowboys team, which I think you're very capable of doing, you end their playoff push right at your home place. You will end their playoff hopes at home. You can end their playoff hopes at home on Thursday. And that's the springboard that you just might need to do everything that you want to do going into the Rams game. Like, bro, how else could you want it right now? All right. If anything, everything's in front of us, bro. Playoffs start Thursday. And I'm here for it, dude. We got the dudes to do it. At some point, they got to show up. At some point this year, we got to play good football. At some point, man, we got to stop doing all the dumb stuff. I don't know. Defensively, we have to find a way to lean into what works. If it's working, stop getting away from it. Just do it. You're challenging them. Stop getting away from it. Do it. Challenge them. Stop getting out of the man coverage. It's working. If anything, more creative from the perspective of your disguises have to be more effective. Our disguises are trash. Outside of third down, our disguises look trash all the time. It's like, I have no idea why we thought that was going to do anything. So just be who you are then. Fine. Just disrupt people. You want to be this team that's physical at corner? Oh, we're going to disrupt. Then do it. Then do it. I've already seen you this year change up coverages. You've adjusted for certain teams. I've loved it. Overwhelm teams then. We play like against Baltimore, we win. No doubt. No doubt. There was an urgency in that game for sure. Legion of Boom was clutch. But that's the depth. It speaks to the depth that this team has, man. They have it. They have what they need. They 100% have what they need. They 100% have what they need, man. No team is going to be perfect in this playoff push. No team at all. They have what they need to at least give themselves a chance. To not give themselves a chance is going to be a major disappointment. You have to be incredibly disappointed with the way you execute if you don't give yourself a chance. Because that's it just can't happen. It cannot happen with what you have on this team. You have way too much for that to be the case. Goff played a heck of a game outside of the first 3 plays. He was fantastic outside the first 3 plays, and those first 3 plays were not good from him. They weren't. He's on the run, puts it in front of JMO. You go cover 3, it's a good read, throws it at the ground. There's some pressure, but he threw it at the ground. Those were not good. The pass behind, whatever. Like, that should have been, whatever. Like, yeah, I would like that pass to be better. But at least he's taking accountability for it. That's the right mindset to have, because in a game that's that ugly, somebody's got to overcome. And that was the issue. That's where I agree in the sense of your best players that you need to be great were very good, but they weren't great. Jared Goff was very good. He wasn't great because of the couple issues that he had. Brian Branch was very good, but he wasn't great because he allowed the big touchdown. Hutch was, I think, in a lot of ways very good, but he wasn't great. Ali McNeil was very good, but he got pushed back on a couple run plays, so he wasn't great. He was a very good rusher, but he wasn't great in that game. That was the story of the game from our best in that game. James Williams, very good, not great. Right? Sometimes he did get open, had to drop pass, but he was very good outside of that. So it's like, if someone's not going to completely take over the game, then you have to be cleaner. And I think that's the only realistic part of this. only realistic part of this. He could. Dak Prescott could have a big game, but he shouldn't because this defense wasn't lost. I mean, in terms of like being able to match up, the corners matched up really well in this game. They made some good plays. We matched up really well for a lot of this game. Branch played outstanding for a lot of this game, and we did get wins up front. Packers just do what they always do against us, and they hit a couple of explosives, and that was it. They do what they always do against us. There was nothing about what the Packers did that was new. They play the same game every time we play this dang team. Every time we play this stupid team, they play the same way, bro. Gosh, man. Yes, keep playing Aleem. And Aleem's playing good football. Very good. Not great, but very good. He's playing very good. Kick some field goals. That's you could argue that too. I'm not here to argue against that. But again, now let's be fair. Because here's how I always look at fourth down. Hey, fourth down, man. Right? Someone said earlier, if you got the players to do it, you trust those guys, and we can go. Do you not trust that Penny Sewell's going to block the right guy on fourth down? I don't think he did. I don't think he blocked the right guy at all on fourth down. That's why I got shut down. Do we not trust Jameson and Jared Goff? And I'm not completely arguing. I thought the second time we absolutely should have taken the field goal. I 100% thought we should, and I still feel that way. But in hindsight, those are your investments. Penny Sewell's big money, Jared Goff's big money, Jamo's big money. And none of them made a play. And they were all there to be made. We had the numbers on the run play. We had the pass on the pass play. None of them came through. Everything's there for us, yo. Everything's there for us, man. We just got to do it. We just got to do it. Dak has been great. Dak has been great. I'll give that to you. Dak has been big time this year. Yeah, he has been. I mean, I haven't seen him. What, is he playing today? Is he playing today? Oh, no, they played Kansas City. That's right. Yeah. It's going to be a challenge, bro, but playoff team beats that team. I'll be honest with you. Playoff team beats that team. Playoff team does not drop back-to-back at home like that. Playoff team beats the Cowboys straight up. You got to beat the Cowboys. Because you beat the Cowboys, you're going to L.A., at least you give yourself some buffer. And if you win the next two, you're basically in the playoffs. I mean, be honest with you. I mean, like, think about it, man. This team in the last couple of years has built on the fact that they would go on runs. We're winning, losing, winning, losing. That's not a playoff team. Even when the Lions would make the playoffs, like in the past with like Stafford, when they weren't really that good, they would have stretches of wins. We don't have any stretches of wins right now. We had a 10-6 playoff team that got bounced in the first round by the Packers, giving like 50 points because you started off hot, 5-1, and then you went win-loss, 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 all the way down the stretch, and you got bounced in the first round. I watched it. We went 12-4. We lost to every good team we played, or 11-5. We lost to every good team we played with Jim Caldwell. Beat every bad team, lost to every good team. That team just wasn't good enough to go where they wanted to go. I think that's just what it is in hindsight. They were detailed. They didn't what they had. They did not have what they needed. This team is not that. They have what they need. They can beat very good teams. At least I believe they can. But like when we went 10-6, man, you know, we had a stretch towards the end of the season where we win, got ourselves in there. Like at some point, this team needs to roll. If they're going to get where they go, they should roll. They should. They did it to begin the season, and now they've been on this seesaw of mistakes, slipping by, mistakes, and they're just doing this over and over. Like at some point, it's got to connect, and this is the playoff run. We got to connect. We connect now, we roll, and this is where we get hot. You got to get hot though, because otherwise, you're going to be a team that doesn't make the playoffs, or you're going to back into the playoffs, and you're going to get bounced because you're not going to be clean enough to play against a good team. You're going to go on the road. You're going to play a team that's maybe not even better than you personnel-wise, and we're going to make dumb mistakes. We're gonna be terrible on fourth down, right? We'll go for it. We'll have a terrible fake punt. We'll drop a couple passes. We might muff a snap. We'll do something dumb like that. We'll have a bad defensive pass interference, and someone will beat us. Maybe it's 27-24 in the playoffs, but we get bounced in the first round because that's who we've been. We are who we are at this point. We are who our record says are. There's no doubt this is a 7-5 football team. This is a just above 500 team. But we can absolutely get it rolling very quickly. I don't know. That's where I'm at. That's what I believe. A couple years ago, y'all had Ben Johnson. Dan Cummel's the captain of the play calling now. He is, yeah. Well, last year we had Ben. How did you think Frank Ragnow got coming back? Him a 3. Sus. He'll be back for the playoffs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he can, right? Because he didn't pass his physical, and that was the last day to get reinstated. So I don't think he can. And like I said, I'd love to have him, but he's not fixing the dumb stuff we've done. He might make our margin for error bigger, but like until we play cleaner football, this is not a team that can go make it happen in the Super Bowl. Like, you just got to play cleaner football. You're going to have your ups and downs, but bro, it's been like this since the Bengals game. It's been like this. Up, down, up, down, up, down every week, up, down. Come on, man. We put together stretches before. We got to roll, man. This can't happen, dude. But our player are making too many mistakes. Field goal struggling, kick field goal. Jack. Yeah, Jake is clutch. Jake Bates is clutch. Now, we still would have had to score a touchdown in that game, though. To be fair, we still would have had to score a touchdown. Maybe we would have. I don't know. But we still had to, right? Even if we took the field goals, right? Because, well, the one field goal. No, I guess it would have been 2 field goals, right? Because we had the one we did take, one we didn't take. So I think, yeah, we still would have had to score a touchdown. Was that Dan's mistake a play calling for Moten? Taking the play call? Oh, was it a mistake? I don't think it was a mistake. Because I still feel like grammatically they're smart. Now, here's what I'll say, though. I don't know if I want to say it's a mistake. I don't want to go that far. But I'll say this. The noise that came out after Dan Campbell called plays and we went crazy offensively against Washington, the feedback from that was, oh, my gosh, John Morton's trash. It's all Dan Campbell. Yeah, this is why you had to call. And that wasn't our takeaway. Our takeaway was, look, man, the Lions pushed them around all game long. They ran the ball incredibly well. Everything became simplified for us offensively, and we isolated one-on-ones, and J-Mo cooked. They didn't have the guys match up with us in the secondary, and we ran all over those dudes. That was my biggest takeaway. They had nothing. You can watch it back. I had nothing to do with play calling to me. Play calling was good, but it wasn't like, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, you just brought something I've never seen before. Like, it was all basic stuff we've done before, and it's just that we bullied them up and down the field. They couldn't match up with us in that game at all. They just couldn't match up with us. We were just respectfully, personnel-wise, we were on another level than Washington in that game. And now, credit to them, they did what they had to do. They didn't beat themselves, but they were on another level than Washington. So I don't, to me, it was never really a play calling issue, to be honest with you. I actually think, again, schematically, we look pretty smart. Like, we did a lot. The only reason we were in that game is because on 3rd and long, we passed the heck out of the football. And we ran awesome route concepts. We got ourselves open. Like, we did a lot of that. Now, I'll say this. Here's the thing about play calling. Like, last week, Monty should have been in on the short yard situations. This week, he was. All right, positive. We did that right this week. The 4th downs, no issue with the play calling. Both of them, I think, were checks to the line. Both of them should have been there. Both of them we didn't execute at all. So I don't have an issue with that. Trying to think if there was anything play calling that stuck out that I thought was bad this week. Yeah, the deep curl to J-Mo I didn't like. We talked about that one. I thought a lot of the coverage beaters were smart, though. I don't know if there was one, man. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if there was a stretch that I hate. I mean, okay, I'll say this. The pin pull stuff. The toss runs were garbage. That should have been scrapped. Maybe Dan being in the mix was like not seeing it as well. Maybe John Morton would have saw it better from up top of like, hey, dude, Edgerrin Cooper's destroying this stuff. We got to just scrap this and move on. And honestly, to a point, there was like, dude, we might as well just stop running the football because we're just not picking up our assignments at all. You might as well just lean into the pass game. I mean, you don't want to play that game because you don't want to get destroyed, but maybe you should have. I mean, I could, that's fair. I think that's fair to criticize that in terms of play calling. Those were the things that I would criticize of play calling. But it wasn't overwhelming to me. Like, it's not overwhelmingly concerning to me at this point. Because, like, regardless of what I call, if we don't execute, we're cooked. And we do feel like our strength is our ability to run the football, and we weren't. So, do you think Tom Kennedy played good enough? I think so. Especially, at least until Khalif's back, right? Like, or St. Brown's out. Like, as long as one of those two are out, Tom Kennedy's got to keep getting snaps. I think he definitely played well enough. And I would keep rolling Tesla. I would keep rolling Tesla, too. I think as a receiver, he was good in this game. His blocker, not great, but I think he was a good receiver. But and honestly, Tom Kennedy should probably keep returning too because he was doing like kick returns. You might need to keep him back there. He was doing good. Got to work. All right, Steven, I appreciate you stopping in. Tim Patrick release haunts them, just like DJ Chark. Just saying. Tim Patrick? I don't know, dude. I don't think that's haunting us, dude. You think Tim Patrick release haunts us? I don't know, bro. Hey, Tom Kennedy looked a little bit like Tim Patrick. Hey, those are some Tim Patrick plays he was doing there. He got that little little like sit down route for the first down. Hey, Tom Kennedy had a little Tim Patrick in his bag now. If anything, it's just not using having seen Lovett yet. Maybe I don't know. That doesn't feel like the issue to me, but okay. Attacking left and right was pointless. It's gonna be a miracle if we can make the playoffs. Oh, if we can make it, let's go. I didn't read that right. This has just been missed something. Execution, bro. I truly believe that's what it is. Details. We're missing details. And I don't think that's play calling. I think that's in the week. Your prep in the week. All the foundation you build. The little things. We have to get these right. Mentally, we have to focus. We have to do the little things. If we're allowing it to happen, that's coaching. It's not a schematic issue, but we're allowing it to happen because we're not hitting our landmarks. Like, to me, that's the biggest issue with everything. You know, maybe if someone else was play calling, you'd be able to focus on that more or something, but it's not even like the scheme to me as much as it's that. The ghost of Broderick Martin. Oh my gosh. Feel like this is our best special teams played all year. Special teams good. He's not doing anything in Jacksonville. If we saw DJ Chark, we would have went last year. I like DJ Chark. I did. He's kind of fallen off though too, right? I don't think he's doing anything anymore. I like DJ. I liked him. But hey, you pay JMO, like at some point, you know, he's gonna have to take over the reins, and it's time. He did. And he did in his last game. He had one drop, and he did. We play better without buys. Him and Goff were on point. I did like Chark. I did. All right, chat. Look, man, we're gonna wrap it up here. Josh Reynolds too. This went way longer than I thought it would, but it was good. I don't know if Chark's playing. I'm glad we did this. If you're just joining, man, watch it back. Really, the first 40 minutes are just a breakdown of the All-22, and we show some highlight and some key plays. I'm going to get back on Dose of Draft. So tomorrow we'll have a Bleacher Report episode. Check that out. We'll be back on Dose of Draft there, finishing up my next report. And so check that out if you want another scouting report breakdown. We were a little quiet during Thanksgiving. We'll be back on it. And yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at, man. Short week this week. We're on to Dallas. We're on to Dallas, man. You know? So I'm going to leave it there, man. Have a great night. Yeah, we're going to dress the old line for sure. We got to. I don't know, though. Is Mahogany the future? To me, he hasn't shown it yet. Maybe they think he is. I don't know. Hopefully he's back then. Hopefully he gets back soon, man. He kind of dials it in for us a little bit. We're going to beat Dallas. I love it. We have to. We got no option. We got no option, baby. We got to beat Dallas. I'm out of here, man. Have a great Sunday night. Enjoy the night game. I don't know. Who's playing the night? Chargers, Vegas, Seattle's smoking. The Minnesota Vikings, Buffalo's handling business. Oh, Denver, Washington. Okay, we'll try enjoying it. That's my. I don't know. try to. You know, yeah. Maybe don't watch it. Maybe watch a movie or something. I'm gonna get out of here, man. Gosh, that's horrible, man. All right. Okay. All right, man. Have a great night. Absolutely.